Good evening and welcome to Concord and Clayton Valley Charter High School, where tonight the Clayton Valley Eagles take on the Northgate Broncos. I'm Anthony Schultz along with Dan Wall. Dan, a couple of very good teams tonight, and tonight's game, pretty special. This is going to go a long way to determining who wins the DVAL championship.
Yeah, both teams are 3-0 in the league, and next week they play teams a little bit lower in the division, so, logic would state the winner of this game will win the championship. So we'll have to wait and see.
Kind of like a playoff game. It's going to be a great atmosphere here tonight. Dan, let's talk about the running backs. First for Northgate, a guy who's running the ball really well. They're going to spread the ball around a little bit, but Fisi Tavaki is a guy who's scored 10 touchdowns for the Broncos.
Yeah, he's had a good year. Remember, we saw him play Antioch back in week 2, and he was effective in that game. But they do spread the ball around. Sharp and Haynes and Voorhees all get the ball. They pass a little bit as well, so they have a little bit more variation in their offense than Clayton, who has one big back.
Now, Joe Prothro on the other side, talk about no slouch. Now, he's a guy that leads the East Bay in rushing right now. He is a load to handle.
Yeah, 1,781 yards, 17 touchdowns, leads the entire East Bay in rushing. A couple colleges looking at him, so he's a big-time player. But they have a few others. We'll see him during tonight's game. But I would say tonight, the versatility of Northgate against the power of Prothro and the Eagles.
Should be a good game here tonight, a playoff atmosphere, and we'll have it for you right
after first down. Jake Smith able to...
Parking made easy and convenient.
You're good to go.
Now that was easy.
Hi, welcome to Inside Center Rep.
My name is Carrie Lederer, and I'm the curator of exhibitions here at the Bedford Gallery.
Hi there, welcome to Get Lit.
And that's when I decided to run for the city council.
So exciting.
Meeting in midfield, the team captains for tonight's game. First up on the Northgate side of the ball, number 4, Fisi Tavaki. Number 7, Joe Pelletier. Number 24, Austin Lemak. And number 69, Max Moore. Your team captains for your Eagles, number 4, Cesar Loengus. Number 5, Joe Prothro. Number 42, Jesse Medrano. And number 81, Jordan Figueroa.
Hey gentlemen, we're going to make this short and sweet, and we're live here.
Northgate, you're the visitors, heads or tails? He called heads. If it hits any of us after it hits the ground, we'll do it again. Heads. Northgate, you won the toss. You want your choices? Very good.
White won the toss, deferred to the second half.
You want what?
We want the ball.
Oh, we want the ball.
They deferred.
Yeah. Which way do you want to make it? I'm used to winning. Put your back that way.
All right, Clayton Valley, line up on me, please.
My bad, Joe.
No, because I'm used to winning.
First half choice, Clayton's will receive at the scoreboard. Gentlemen, come in, shake hands, and we'll play some football.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you please rise for the singing of our national anthem tonight, performed by Clayton Valley's very own and wearing number 76, Jeremy Kunkel.
Let's go, Jeremy. Hey, my bad. I'm used to winning. Nice deep breath. What's up, baby?
Who can you see by the dawn's early light? What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, they perused through the night, but our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
To Concord and Clayton Valley Charter High School for tonight's game. Anthony Schultz along with Dan Wall. And Dan, just taking a look at the standings, as we mentioned earlier, both these teams doing very well. 7-1 for both Northgate and Clayton Valley, 3-0 in league. Concord having a nice year at 6-2, but just 1-2 in league. And then everybody else kind of looking up at the Eagles and the Broncos.
Yeah, this is basically for the DVAL title. They're even announcing it here, but we still have a week to play, Tony, and that will still come into play. But if you look ahead, next week, Clayton Valley at Mount Diablo, who's yet to win a game, and also over here, Ignacio Valley will play Northgate in kind of a rivalry game.
Let's go! Let's go, baby! RNG 3 times prepare to dominate. Let's go. We are NG! We are NG! We are NG! Prepare to dominate! Prepare to dominate! Prepare to dominate! Hey, let's go. Party crashes on 3, 1, 2, 3! Party crashes! Let's go!
A little bit more competitive against that very, very tough Pittsburgh team. So that's where we're at tonight, Tony. This is one of the biggest games, I would say, in Northgate's football history.
And Northgate coming out onto the field right now in those travel whites with that burgundy trim and those gold helmets. And the Clayton Valley Eagles, Dan, going with a new look that we hadn't seen before. Remember, they just have that royal blue with the numbers really popping off that jersey. Numbers not really popping off the black right now, as we see the Eagles there on the near side in the black with the red trim and the blue helmets.
These jerseys would have been rejected at NFL meetings, Tony. I'm just letting you know. But in high school, they don't do it as much. So, but it is going to be tough to see the numbers. We'll try to do the best we can.
Well, there are the Clayton Valley.
Come on, guys. Come on, Tunio.
Hey, blue line, back up. Blue line.
As far as the DVAL is concerned, also as far as the Division II goes, because, hey, Dan, NCS coming up really quick as well. And both these teams figure to be big players in those playoffs when they happen here in a couple of weeks. All right.
Just next week is the meetings, actually.
Sam Dale getting set to kick off here for the Northgate Broncos. And we are just about set to get underway. And Joe Prothro, number 5, we talked about him in the open, back deep for the Eagles, waiting inside his own 10-yard line. So here we go. And we are underway from Concord, and it's going to be a pooch kick. Going to go to one of the up men, taking it about the 30-yard line. 30, 35. Gets out near the 40, stopped at about the 39-yard line. And that was Tanner Raw, number 18, on the return. So let's now meet that Clayton Valley offense. Mike Prothro was the quarterback. Joe Prothro, the running back. Curtis Grant, the wide receiver. Jesse Medrano, the fullback. 2 tight ends, and Spencer Raw and Dylan Jew. Justin Rogers, Kramer, Krabby, Connor, and Bangert across that front line for the Clayton Valley Eagles, and we'll meet the Northgate defense right after the first play. 1st and 10 for the 39-yard line, and quickly it looked like Northgate jumps offside, so that should cost the defense 5 yards, and it will.
Prior to the snap,
Northgate
defense, 5-yard penalty, down remains 1.
Fisi Tavaki, Sean Kremen, Max Moore, and the linebackers, Dimitri Bukas, Jake Smith, Jimmy Sharp, Austin Lemack, Eric Haynes, Mastorelli, Brandon Lee, and Stephen Cuneo in the backfield. First play going around the right end, and that is going to be Prothro, breaks the tackle, crosses midfield, and finally pushed out of bounds after he picks up a first down, but I think we're going to have a flag on the play. And this one dropped way back at the line of scrimmage, Dan. That usually does not look good for the offense.
That's typically what happens, Tony. It's either a motion, and yes, you can see another thing that doesn't look good is when they all walk back towards where the line of scrimmage was, and that's where they're headed right now. So we'll wait for the call from tonight's official, Brent Michalik.
And those officials, yep, Brent Michalik is the referee.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
Dennis Puppo is the umpire. Tim Nordstrom, the line judge. The head linesman is Mark Piccolotti, and the back judge is David Gregory. That rounds out the crew that will be calling the action on the field for us.
I said hi to Dave, an old friend, and I said I didn't think you could be in the Hall of Fame and still officiate, because I think Dave's been around since Dave Jackson played football.
Well, that was a long time ago.
They didn't have goalposts then.
All right, first down as they move them way back. 1st and long. They can go one way. And he's going to have a nice gain here. Breaking tackle, cross midfield, 45-40. Finally dragged down by Tavaki inside the 30-yard line of Northgate. And a huge play after the penalty and a first down. About 35 yards on that run. And that was Tanner Raw, number 18, with that carry. What a play for Clayton Valley.
Well, you can see on that one, Tony, a double handoff, kind of like a mini reverse type of situation where running back got the ball first, handed off to one of the ends as he came around, and the blocking was great and good speed down the sideline.
You see that double wing formation, handoff, going up the middle this time. And that was Joe Prothro, and he is going to get inside the 25-yard line down to the 23. Only a couple of yards short of a first down. Jimmy Sutton came up to make the tackle, but another good play for Clayton Valley.
And they go quick, no huddle. And there's Prothro again, but that time you saw number 1 for Northgate, Jake Smith, come up and make that initial hit. Sorry, Tony, but we were in the middle of
not a problem.
We're going to have to get used to the no huddle thing.
Jake Smith able to get into the backfield, did not make the tackle, Dan, but certainly slowed up Prothro enough to allow his friends to come in and clean things up. We'll leave him a couple of yards short of a first down. It's 3rd down now for the Eagles.
And you can see Mike Prothro is the quarterback, his brother Joe. And Mike Prothro, for a quarterback, is not a small boy. He as you mentioned, he has linebacker size, and he's the quarterback for Clayton Valley.
Big physical-looking guy. Going to hand off. This time they're going to be caught in the backfield. That is going to bring up 4th down.
Immediately in the backfield.
And that was Sean Kremen, number 88, to come up and make the play. Raw got the ball and also got the hit as Kremen able to get into the backfield and disrupt that play.
A loss of 1, 4th down, Eagles.
So Kremen able to come up and make the play. It's going to be 4th down now for Clayton Valley, but 4th and just a couple. And they're going to go for it here on 4th down. And quickly offside, it looks like Northgate, the second time they've done that here in this drive. They did it before the opening snap, and now they do it here on 4th down and short.
And this is either going to be 4th and about less than a yard or a first down. One thing about Clayton's offense, for those of you that have followed Coach Tim Murphy over the years, formerly at Ignacio, then down to Clovis East for 12 years, and now back.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Ran the double wing very successfully, Ignacio. Brought a 1-10 team around into a section championship caliber team. This double wing is a little different, though, in that the quarterback is in the shotgun and not under in what we like to call the hot potato pitch, which we might see on Northgate side.
Prothro are going to get the ball, but missed by a host of tacklers.
It's going to depend on his forward motion here, Tony. They're right around the 20. I don't think he got
I don't think he got there. Let's look where they are marking it. They are marking it short, and that was still 4th down. So we heard over the loudspeaker 2nd down, but that was a 4th down play. The 5 yards did not net them the 1st down, as you said, Dan, left them a bit short, and they didn't get it. That's going to be a 1st down for Northgate. So the Bronco defense holds, and on downs, Clayton Valley turns it over.
Well, one thing we had mentioned early is the matchup between Prothro and the Northgate defense. Northgate's defense has only given up 13 points a game. They have a little bit stronger defense than Clayton. Clayton averages 54 points a game, so that's one of the early battles you're going to see, and that time Northgate won.
So Northgate commits that big penalty down on the 4th and just over 5. To bring up 4th down and about a half a yard, but then they hold, and they take over now at their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10. And handoff, chugging up the middle.
I think Pelletier kept it, actually.
Just a couple of yards here, and here is that Northgate offense. Joe Pelletier is the quarterback. Tavaki and Sharp, the running backs, along with Rohr, he's the fullback. Smith and Kremen are the double tight ends. Lee, Modlin, Reed, Skyhawk, Moore, and Schneider across that front line for Northgate, and we'll meet the Clayton defense in just a minute.
Just for you, those of you that have watched or seen him before, Pelletier is wearing number 7 tonight, aside from his normal 15, and Tavaki's wearing number 4 in the backfield.
From the I formation, man in motion. Gonna hand, the tailback's gonna get it. And gonna chug his way for a 1st down for Northgate. Out across the 30, down to about the 33, and Jimmy Sharp picks up the necessary yardage, and that will be a 1st down for Northgate. And here is that Clayton Valley defense. Clayton Valley defense, the starters Dakota Kramer, Zach Meeker, Vance Peoples, Logan Bangert across the line, Grant Oatley, Jesse Medrano, we'll be seeing a lot of him, Spencer Raw, the linebackers, Nelson, Ben Davis, and Joe Prothro in the secondary for the Eagles. And a motion coming to the near side, offset eye in the backfield, back to pass, throws the sideline, catch is made, and he's going to be hit and dropped, and that's going to be good enough for a 1st down. Jake Smith able to, and he's going to be hit and dropped, and that's going to be good enough for a 1st down. Jake Smith able to make the catch, and he's going to pick up about 11 yards, maybe 12. Joe Prothro came along to make the stop, but that's going to be another 1st down for the Northgate Broncos.
Well, Tony, we saw this in the Antioch game 8 weeks ago, and Northgate throws the ball pretty well. They threw the ball well against Antioch, and Pelletier has a good arm going out to the sideline. He even had some nice middle of the field type throws. Number 1, Jake Smith, is a big receiver in their offense.
Again with the I formation, Pelletier going to handle the tailback coming through. And going to be hit after getting a couple of yards. And that will be number 12, Jimmy Sharp. And he gets across midfield. And about close to 4 yards for Jimmy on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
That time just over the left guard side. You know, sometimes, Tony, when we watch these games, when we've seen a lot of them in the high school level with these offenses, a lot of times one play sets up another play. The misdirection one way sets up the next play. So sometimes if you get 3 or 4 yards, that's not necessarily considered a bad thing. It's just considered a part of the extension of what we're trying to do here tonight, and you just kind of keep the motor running.
All right, Nick Mastorelli's come to the game. He's lined up on that near side. And in motion again, an I formation pitch. Jimmy Sharp going to cut it inside. They wanted to go outside, and Sharp has to cut it in, and he's going to get a couple of yards. That's going to leave him a few yards short of a 1st down, and it'll bring up 3rd down here for the Northgate Broncos.
Logan Banger was there for Clayton Valley. They cut off his running lane quickly that time, and Sharp's had the ball a number of times so far. We haven't seen Tavaki yet, who's their leading rusher.
And Sharp in the backfield again. They're going to go to the sideline here. Catch is made. 40, stiff arm. and going to be pushed out of bounds. And that is Brandon Lee making the catch, and that'll be good enough for a first down. And the Northgate Broncos here moving the football very nicely on their opening drive that started back at their own 20-yard line, following the Clayton Valley Eagles turning the ball over on downs.
Well, one thing both teams using no huddle limits your defensive substitutions. Obviously, you kind of know what you're doing on offense, and Pelletier, I've been very impressed in the two games we've seen. He's a very good leader. He's one of the reasons why Northgate's football team is back here 7-1 and playing for a championship.
Again, that I formation. Jimmy Sharp still the tailback, so still no sign of Tavaki here on offense. And into the up end this time, going to be wrapped up very quickly. And that was Voorhees, number 21. And taking care of him was number 50. Number 50, Logan Bangert, coming up there, the senior, 215 pounds, coming in to make the tackle.
Well, interesting enough, Tony, Tavaki, 712 yards, 10 touchdowns, hasn't seen the ball. Haynes, one of the running backs, 445 yards and 7 touchdowns, hasn't seen the ball. Sharp has ran this year for 538 and 7 TDs, but so far they're kind of keeping it in his hands and throwing simple out patterns, and they've been able to move the ball now inside the 40.
Motion to the far side. And here's Jimmy again, takes on a couple of tacklers, and Jimmy is going to get a first down as he gets inside the 30-yard line, down to about the 25-yard line. It looks like they're going to mark this very close to a first down. Either it's going to be first down, Dan, or it's going to be third down and very, very short.
Looked like Ben Davis was there to make that tackle, Tony, but when your defensive backs are coming up and making the tackles, as we always say, not a good thing for your defense. And I'm fairly sure in the last 5 or 6 games, Clayton Valley hasn't seen this kind of offense from the opposing team.
Third down, very short. Give it to the up man, and he's going to squeeze through, getting a couple of yards there. And now the ball may have come loose here. The Eagles are claiming they have it. The officials say no, and they say first down for the Northgate Broncos.
Have you ever seen a fumble that didn't go the other way, but then obviously went back the way? It's amazing.
Well, I noticed
everyone has recovered the fumble, unless
everybody thinks their team always has
the ball. Yes, no matter. The guy could be laying there with the ball, and they think they have it. Yeah,
not partisan at all.
I think we practice that now, Tony. Yeah. Point the other way, maybe the officials will go with it.
No partisanship involved in here. That we're in the
yes, this is
the election season.
Yes, we are.
All right, first down from the Eagle 24 here for Northgate. And this one is going to be hit and stopped. And big number 75 coming up there. Eric Haynes had the carry, but Griffin Bentley in the backfield there very quickly to make the stop.
That was the first time Haynes saw the ball, but there's a perfect example for those of you that watch regularly. When those defensive ends are making the first hit and making the tackle, generally
that's how it works.
That's how it works, and that's where you limit your yardage.
So short gain, if any, on the first down. And we'll bring up second down, and Northgate looks like they want to talk this over, and indeed they do. Timeout, Broncos.
Well, we got an opportunity, Tony. Justin Lowell's in his 5th year over at Northgate, and he's really led a resurgence of the Bronco football team. They had a 9-3 year in 2010 and a playoff win for the first time in many, many years. This year's 7-1. So, over there it's always going to depend, too, on your personnel. Northgate has had up years and down years in football. Ben Ballard, Mike On, Junior Boyle, Jerry Maynard, Mike Escobar are the coaching staff for the Northgate Broncos here in the DVAL, and you'd really have to go back. Maybe in 2010 they were a league. I don't think they won the league title that year. I think that was the year Concord was undefeated, but you got to think this is one of the first times they've been able to play for a league championship in quite a while.
And also, Dan, we talked about when we had them back in August that they had sort of a nomadic existence, not really having a home. They've settled that, really, and that's one of those things that kind of helps us settle down the team. They have their own place to play, and they've really responded with much better football here for the Northgate Broncos. Second down, looking to throw, fires, ball's going to be intercepted. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Peltier goes over to make the tackle. He can't. Finally dragged down across midfield inside of Bronco territory, and that is going to be number 2, Spencer Raw, who from Pelletier's point of view kind of came out of nowhere there to make the interception. So another big defensive play. Northgate's got one, and now Clayton Valley has the other.
Raw just sat down playing in a linebacker spot, but almost back where a cornerback would be. 27 yards on that, or is that Pelletier's stats, Dave? That's Pelletier. Oh, 27 yards on the return for Raw. Spencer Raw was just sat back that time, Tony, right in the that little pocket, and Pelletier was waiting for a slant to come about. He threw the ball right into Raw's hands.
Pro throw, pitch to pro throw, cuts it back up. It's Yard still on his feet. Tavaki chasing him, finally going to drag him down inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line. So Joe Prothro 30 yards on the run. And Prothro with a beautiful cut to the inside and kind of off to the races. And then, boy, once he gets ahead of steam, Dan, it's just hard to tackle the guy.
Good cut, good in the open field, and then, of course, ran down by Tavaki. Interesting that Tavaki has yet to run the ball, as we mentioned, but playing defense.
Playing on defense, so it's obviously not an injury. But I'm sure we'll see him on offense before the night is through. And a bad snap, and this time just Prothro just jumping right on the ball. And that's a pretty smart play. Trying to limit the damage here. They're going to lose about, let's see, 6-7 yards on that play. So a bad snap. And there will be, in fact, a loss of 6 for Clayton Valley. And now it's 2nd and 16.
That was a smart play by a junior quarterback. This is a guy that was kind of thrust into their offense last year. Their starting quarterback went down after the first game. He played last year, and now he'll be here next year as well. But his brother running the ball right now won't. He's a senior.
Pro-throw to pro-throw, and boy, they look like they took him down, and he's going to backpedals his way for some yards. Joe Prothro, oh boy. Now you see the legs churning a lot, Dan, but that's usually when the running back is going forward. This time Prothro is going backwards and able to make something out of nothing.
And still had 4 or 5 guys on him. That was a nice run, but they still now after that gain still have about 9 yards on 3rd down.
Now it's going to be 3rd down, and they need to get to about just inside the 10-yard line to the 9. So 3rd down here. Going to hand, looks like the end around this time. They got room. It's going to be a 1st down. And he's going to step out of bounds, and that is number 3, Curtis Grant, on the end around. That will be a 1st down for Clayton Valley. And they're going to make him just outside of the 5 at about the 7-yard line. 1st down and goal for Clayton Valley.
Yeah, we're down to about 3:20 to go in the 1st quarter. Grant, the leading receiver for the Eagles, who have yet to really establish any sort of passing game. They've been running the ball very effectively.
So Joe Prothro with that keep the legs churning type of run. And then Grant with the end around has got him 1st down and goal. Prothro, it's Grant again. He's going to be hit and stopped that time. And that time it was number 23, number 23, excuse me. That is going to be Nick Mastrelli. And also Brandon Lee, number 2, came up to help out on the stop. So maybe a yard or so on the play, but that will bring up 2nd down and goal for Clayton Valley.
Basically the same play that time, but Grant took a different route towards the end zone and was taken down by Mastrelli. Nice defensive play.
Prothro to Grant, plowing his way through, taken down there by number 1, Jake Smith. But he's going to get inside the 5 this time. It is going to bring up 3rd down, and they're going to mark him down at about the 2, maybe the 3-yard line. Actually, even closer to the 1 yard. They are going to spot this on the 2. So this will bring up
again, Tony.
This will bring up 3rd down and goal. I'm sure it's 2-down territory if they don't get it here. Prothro going to take it in. Touchdown for the quarterback. And that is Mike Prothro over from 2 yards out, and Clayton Valley has themselves a touchdown.
Mike Prothro's got to be the biggest quarterback I've ever seen. It's absolutely huge.
Big physical guy.
And you saw he ran over one of the defenders. It wasn't a slide. It wasn't the good old Alex Smith slide into the defender move. He basically banged into a guy and said, I think I'll take this in myself.
Juarez's kick is right through there. And now, with 2:28 to go here in the 1st, it's 7-0 in favor of the Eagles, taking advantage of that raw interception that ended a nice Northgate drive. They take it the distance from 48 yards out, touchdown Clayton Valley.
Well, you saw exactly what Clayton Valley wants to do. They do tend to rely on Prothro, but that time we saw Grant run the ball a number of times. He got the big 1st down carry. And, they look like they're almost unstoppable if they don't stop themselves.
Well, able to take this with the distance. Grant had a really nice run, a big run there. They We saw that they can overcome some penalties as well, Dan, to keep this going.
Well, here's a couple of things. Clayton Valley has rushed for 419 yards per game. They're well on the way to that again. They've averaged 54 points a game and only given up 20. So obviously that leads to the 7-1 mark. The one loss 40-27 to Pittsburgh. They beat Concord last week 49-6, and it kind of a shocking score when you consider that Concord was considered to be the class of this league, or was rated as high as number 3 in the East County poll. But then consecutive losses to these two teams has dropped them down, and now that's why we're here tonight for the big battle of the DVAL.
You know, we talked about the DVAL, Dan, but also the NCS Division 2. Clayton Valley and Northgate both at 7-1. Looking up at Rancho Cotati at 8-0. Concord's in the mix, Casa Grande, and a lot of teams still in that mix of Division 2. A lot of teams playing good football. From the goal line, no, this is going to be inside the end zone, so Juarez's kick will be a touchback for Northgate, and they'll have it at their own 20-yard line.
Wanted to mention, aside Tim Murphy, John Canessa, Eddie DeLatorre, Gary Finch, Joey Levine, you might remember the quarterback of the Eagles a few years back, Mitch McDuff, Pat Prothrow, the father of both running backs and quarterback here tonight. Paul Renault also played here, Ricky Rodriguez and Dave Stiles, the coaching staff. First year for Coach Murphy, coming up from Clovis East, and I have a number of things we've got to get to on him on facts, but this guy's been one of the most winningest coaches, aside from Coach Ladouceur, in this area over the past 20 years.
Well, it looked like a broken play that time. I think Pelletier wanted to hand that ball or pitch it, ended up keeping it himself, and he picks up a couple of yards, and good yardage actually, Dan, on that first play, getting out to the 25-yard line. That'll bring up second down at 5.
Northgate really hasn't had too much problem moving the ball. The one interception, obviously, the big play on defense for Clayton Valley, but they've moved the ball nicely on their drive.
No, they moved that ball well into Clayton territory before that interception. Remember, they started that last drive at their 20, and were on a very nice drive before the raw interception.
And now you see Tavaki is in the game.
And he's going to get the football, Tavaki, and trying to plow his way forward, and does a nice job, keeps it going. And this looks like it's going to be marked for a first down, or just short of a first down.
They're marking it first down.
It's got to be a first down. The chains over there looked like they were going to the 30.5-yard line, but remember, that was a touchback that started them at the 20. So Tavaki able to pick up a first down on his first carry of the game, and Northgate is now got it 1st and 10 at just past the 30-yard line.
Well, Tony, on that play, you saw one of the hallmarks of this sort of offense is to get a number of players out in front and just basically run behind them, and they did a big wall of Northgate blockers that time.
Pelletier going to keep it himself and just get mauled at the line of scrimmage, maybe a half yard, Dan, but boy, the Eagles were not fooled about, they weren't thinking about any pitch at all right there. They were thinking Pelletier's keeping this and we're going to stop him, and they did. Maybe a half yard on the gain.
Short gain sets up 2nd and 9.
Well, 2nd down and 9 for the Broncos, operating from just outside their own 30-yard line. Pelletier, the I formation behind him. Play action fake. Going here to the sideline. Nearly a diving catch made by Jake Smith at about the 38-yard line. And that ball a little bit wide to the right then, Dan, but Jake Smith with a nice effort couldn't come up with it.
Well, that time Pelletier didn't have the same lane of vision that he had on the first two passes. You saw the last two passes were from the near side hash marks. This time he's throwing far side. Also, the coverage was a little bit more. They were able to take an angle and force that ball a little bit wider, and that's why the pass fell incomplete.
Well, when you're throwing that angle pass like that, then you better make sure you take the right angle, because if it gets intercepted there, that's a pick 6. All right, a pair of wide receivers on the near side, going over this way again. Pass is caught, 35, 40, 45, and near the 46-yard line, and the catch is made by Brandon Lee, and that will be a first down for the Broncos.
I'm shocked on that there wasn't pass interference on that play. The guy ran right into the Clayton Valley defender, and that's how Brandon Lee broke open, but there was no penalty called on the play. That was kind of shocking.
They used to accuse the 49ers of doing that all the time.
They still accuse the 49ers of doing that.
And a lot of times they would call that the rub play, Dan, but when you actually make contact, it's just a pick.
But you know what's funny, Tony? Every team does that. Yeah. Every team in the world. Flag football teams do it. So.
They practice it. You got to get in the other guy's way. You try not to make contact, but you certainly want to get into that defensive back's way and screen him off from your wide receiver. Going to fake the end around, go right up the middle, and the Clayton Valley defense there. And look at the pile, just kind of push one way or the other. Yeah, right now they're playing rugby down there. I was just going to
say, Tony, that is where rugby originated, right, in a play like that. Or football originated.
From rugby, right.
Quarter play. After 1 quarter, it's the Eagles 7.
So that'll do it.
The Broncos 0.
1 quarter in the books. Clayton Valley 7, Northgate nothing, but it's the Broncos on a drive, and we'll be back to Concord right after this.
Look, there's a man dumping oil down the storm drain.
Hurry, call Mr. Funnelhead Hotline.
Mr. Funnelhead, there's a guy on Main Street dumping motor oil down the storm drain.
Oh my, I'll take the Funnelhead mobile and meet you right there, ASAP.
Hey, stop destroying my home!
Stop dumping that used motor oil. You're destroying our environment and water supply.
Place your oil in a clean sealable plastic container and your oil filter in a clean plastic Ziploc bag. Then take them to a certified used oil collection center or place it on your curb with the other recyclable items.
And here go the Northgate Broncos from about the 47-yard line. Handoff, Tavaki going to cut it up inside and then meet and drag down. It looked like that was Joe Pelletier coming up to make the stop right as Tavaki crossed midfield about the 49-yard line, picks up about 4 yards. And they're going to say number 6, Garrett Nelson, came up to make the tackle. So it will be third down and about 4 here for Northgate. And you got to wonder, Northgate inside of Clayton Valley territory, would they go ahead and punt here if they don't get it? But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right now, third down at 4 for Pelletier and company. Man in motion. They're going to go end around. Now they come with the reverse. Tavaki going to get the first down, and Tavaki going to be raced out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. So called out the Eagle 41-yard line. Well, about 8 yards on that reverse, and Tavaki's got himself a first down for the Broncos, so they turn third down into first down, and the drive continues for Northgate.
The reason that play worked is I didn't actually catch a number of the first back with the ball, but he made a flip backwards towards Tavaki as opposed to handing off to him right. Sometimes where you do when you run right by. If he had done that, the Clayton Valley defender was there, but that little flip gave him the necessary room to get outside and get that first down. By the way, Tony, you mentioned going for it. If you remember, Northgate's punting game back in the day when we did Antioch, remember it was basically pooch kick and go for it. So they don't have the punting game that some teams do.
Handoff. This is Smith again this time. Pardon me. No, it's going to be Jimmy Sharp, number 12.
Number 12, Jimmy Sharp.
Oh, he's going to pick up a couple of yards. Jimmy's going to get out to about the
4 yards.
Up to 4-yard gain there as he gets about the 36-yard line. Dakota Kramer coming up to make the tackle for the Eagles. It'll bring up second down here for Northgate.
Lots of
changes coming in.
Yeah. You don't see that much substitution out of Northgate usually. But with the no huddle, you've got that extra time.
And Nick Mistrelli, number 23, coming in the ball game and lines up here on the near side. And Northgate going to want to take time out.
So while we got a chance, Tony, I want to talk a little bit about Coach Tim Murphy and some of the accomplishments he's listed. He's one of the few guys I know that has his own website. But what he does on that website is sell tapes, because he is considered one of the great teachers of the double wing offense, and he sells them to high school coaches around the country. It has well, one of the things that he did at Clovis East is he took over a team, kind of like when Deer Valley came in Freedom. They didn't have seniors the first couple of years. He took over with juniors and kind of grew. He's the only coach to ever win or go to a North section, not a North Coast section, but a Central Coast section or Southern section championship game with no seniors on his roster, which is a pretty amazing feat when you consider the teams in Southern California.
Yeah, they take football pretty seriously down there.
He also was the first coach to go in as a Division I coach out of California and beat a Texas 1A team in Texas. They beat Midland Lee 38-37, double overtime. That's one of those powers that have the scoreboard that's bigger than the one at the Oakland Coliseum.
The Texas teams take football even more seriously than Southern California teams.
If you would have saw it's on the internet, go onto his website and look. They have the highlights of that game, and the crowd must have numbered over 20,000 that night.
Unbelievable. So Northgate from the 36-yard line. Man in motion coming to the near side. And they're going to pitch it. Sharp Going to get around the end, and Jimmy Sharp.
The toss goes to number 12, Jimmy Sharp.
And Jimmy Sharp going to get some nice yardage over here. It looks like he's going to pick up another first down.
Great play that time. Not only was there blocking at the line of scrimmage, but then he got blocks to make the lane outside from both of his outside guys, and that's why that went for so much and got him the first down. I tell you, the blocking so far in this game has been very impressive on both sides.
So to inside the 25, down to about the 23-yard line, 1st and 10 for Northgate, and got themselves another great drive going. Remember, the raw interception disrupted that first drive after they moved the ball very well, but doing the same thing here. Can they cash it in and get this game tied? 1st down and 10. Haynes going to get the ball. This time he is met by a host of tacklers, and he's going to be thrown back with no less than 6 defenders on top of him. And look at them all unpile. Talk about gang tackling right there, Dan. That's a good example of it for Clayton Valley.
One thing Northgate lacks is a power run. They have 4 guys that are all pretty quick. Sharp, it would be more of a power runner, but still he's not a prototypical power guy. He's not that big. But they have 4 really quick guys. But sometimes when they try to just match up and go straight up the middle, it doesn't work. And that time, it didn't work.
Going to need a hole. No gain on the play. Going the far side, and this one is going to be in out of the hands of the intended receiver, and that is number 2, Brandon Lee. Covered very nicely out there by number 16, Ben Davis, who was step for step. And boy, that ball had to be perfect, Dan. And even though it was, they were just running out of real estate over there on that far side.
Well, he made a nice cut after he found the defender at first. It looked like he was cut off, but he kind of just kept going to the ball, and it was actually there. That could have been a touchdown.
That was a deep fade pattern, Dan. They just kind of kept going and going and going, and finally ran out of real estate. Okay, 3rd down and 10 here for the Broncos. Definitely 2-down territory here, I would think. Fake handoff. Back to pass. Going to throw. Dumps it out to the back. Haynes has got it. He's going to pick up the first down. Cuts back. Haynes still going. Haynes dragging tacklers toward the goal line. And he is going to be stopped short, but it will be 1st down and goal for Northgate.
Eric Haynes on the complete pass and run.
So they pick up 23 yards, nearly 22 yards on the play, and it's going to leave them just short. And let's take another look at that play, Dan.
Well executed screen pass, had blockers in front of him, and when you have that, Tony, when you have that 10 yards to run plus blockers in front of you, that play it's one of the prettiest plays, too. It's a very exciting play. It's like a triple in baseball, the screen pass in football.
All right, Haynes is going to get it. Runs into a defender. He's not going to get to the end zone. A couple of defenders there, among them number 42. Number 42, Jesse Medrano, and he was one of their big studs on defense. He came up with a big play right there. 2nd down for Northgate.
And Prothero was there as well, so both of the big players made that tackle.
2nd down from that tight formation, the double wing. Peltier's going to try to get in, and did he get in? No, he didn't. Northgate is signaling touchdown, but the referee says 3rd down upcoming.
Making a tough stop for the Eagles.
So you talked about the lack of a true power runner, Dan. Here's where you really like to have it. We're going to go with that tight formation again, 3rd down. They're going to hand off, and Tavaki around the right side. Touchdown, Northgate.
That was pretty. That was a great call by Coach Lowell. That was the more traditional double wing with the hot potato pitch. And that play was hot, Tony. And Tavaki made the play, though. Instead of running right into the pack, made a little juke at the line of scrimmage. Boom, went outside, got in for the touchdown. And barring a problem here with this extra point, we'll have a tie game.
All right, here's Sam Dale on to attempt the extra point to try to tie the game now. And, you think, Dan, why keep banging your head against a brick wall? You might as well just go around it. That's what Northgate did, and they got a chance to tie it up here. Snap, hold, Dale's kick is good. And just like that, after an 80-yard gain, 8:37 to go here in this first half, and the Northgate Broncos have come back to tie it. We're all knotted at 7.
Yep, very impressive 80-yard drive, a mixture of pass and run. And I'll tell you what, this game right here is maybe a little closer than people might have thought. A lot of people probably, if they're betting on this game, which I'm sure no one wants to hear about, but you know what, Tony, people still bet on high school football. The money probably was a little heavier on Clayton Valley coming in just because of the experience factor of this team. Herc Pardee was here for so many years, ran a great program. He left last year, finally retired. And by the way, hello, Coach, if you're out there watching. You had a great career, great run at Pittsburgh and at Clayton Valley. But they got a guy in here, Tim Murphy, who's, like I said, comparative to Ladouceur, might have the most championships and wins over the past 20 years than anyone in this area. And he was an Ignacio guy, so he was always followed by this area. After he went to Clovis East, he always kind of looked in the standings. You know, this is a team. He actually coached. He was the last guy to be ahead of De La Salle here. You know, you say, who was the last team to beat him? But that was Pittsburgh in this area. And who was the last team to tie him? And that was Clayton in this area. But Ignacio was the last team to lead him at halftime, which I know you should have that stat in the paper, Tony. De La Salle win-loss, losing at halftime.
And when was the last time they led by more than a touchdown in a day game? Well, that's somebody else entirely.
Sarah in the 2009 season.
Little pooch kick going to the far side here, calling for the fair catch and making it. And that's number 42 for Clayton Valley, Jesse Medrano. And that's going to be at the 42-yard line. So Clayton Valley going to get nice field position here to start this next drive.
There's a flag on the far sideline. This could be fair catch interference. It's either that or the pooch kick just was too ugly, because it was.
So here's the referee, Bert Michalczyk, talking over to Clayton Valley, so that looks like the penalty will go against Northgate. And good call down. I think they just didn't give the return man enough room to catch it.
Kick catching interference against the kickers, declined, first down.
Tony, it's why they pay me the big bucks.
Huge.
Or I should say the small bucks. But that play right there gives you a little example. You got to wonder what it is in Northgate seats. I heard Dave Jackson spouting off behind us, which we normally do during the season. By the way, good Giants hat, Dave. Go Giants. They is it their kicking game or is it their kick coverage team? I don't know. That time they faked out our cameras,
everybody,
and everybody. So, and it didn't really fake out Northgate, though, which is good for Northgate.
Northgate not faked out at all. It's going to be a couple of yard gain close to the 44-yard line. So 2 yards on first down for Clayton Valley will bring up second down and 8.
That's the one I think they busted for a touchdown against Concord. Direct to
And this time they're going to throw. Fires over the middle. He's got him in. Inside the 30. 25. Spins. Still on his feet. Inside the 20. Still pushing players. Still on his feet. Down to the 15-yard line.
What a great
I think that's Ben Davis, number 16. Actually, that's number 18. That is going to be Tanner Raw making the catch and dragging tacklers all the way down. What a play for Clayton Valley.
It's not often that you have 3 wide receivers running in the exact area of the field wide open, and he did that time. And he could have picked from either 3, but he picked the right guy that time. That was a spectacular play.
I think it was the first time Clayton Valley threw the ball so far this evening, and they do so successfully from the shotgun again, going right up the middle and just pounding tacklers. Look at that. Oh, my. Mike Prothrow lowering the shoulder that time, and he knocked the Bronco right over, and he's close to another first down. Pick up about 9 yards on that keeper, and it'll bring up second down and a yard here for Clayton Valley, and looking to untie this one very quickly.
They go quick again, and they like that play.
Prothrow lowering his head and just kind of bulldozing his way. And that time, who got the worst of it on that play? Austin Lemack, number 24, makes the tackle, but he certainly got the worst of that exchange.
Well, one thing you might want to start looking at if you're Northgate, if they tend to run a play they like, they just keep running it. They don't change any. You know, they ran 3 end arounds on this side of the field to Grant, and now they've ran Prothrow 2 times up the middle. I'll tell you, I'm just saying, I don't know if Mike Prothrow's future is as a running back, but he could be a devastating fullback type player at a higher level, or a defensive player, because he's just size-wise, unless if he keeps lifting and he keeps getting bigger, there's no way he's going to be a quarterback at a higher level. I mean, Dante Culpepper looks like Fran Tarkington compared to him.
Measuring for the first down, it will be a first down. So the Clayton Valley Eagles taking advantage of that short pooch kick. They started at the 42-yard line. Dan, and then they get the big pass play to Raw, who made the incredible run, just dragging tacklers with him. And then Mike Prothro, a couple of runs on his own, and now inside the 5 for about the Northgate 4. First and goal for Clayton Valley.
One thing about Prothro, though, is that not only can he throw a nice ball, and he's shown that, but he's big and powerful and athletic. So it's not like he's hindering them whatsoever with his size, but I'm just saying, if you look at him, he's still a teenager. He could end up, being a much bigger player.
Prothro's got it, trying to go up the middle. Tavaki trips him up. And Prothro just very close to that goal line down. He's going to bring up second down and goal. About a 4-yard gain. Second down and goal from the 1-yard line now. So just as Northgate able to come back and tie this football game, the Clayton Valley Eagles threatening to reclaim the lead. Prothro again, up the middle. And Mike has got himself, let's see, there it is, touchdown Clayton Valley. 58 yards on the drive. They threw the one pass in and then ran it the rest of the way. And the Clayton Valley Eagles have reclaimed the lead at 13-7.
Well, Prothro has both touchdowns, both short runs, but he has not been the whole Clayton Valley offensive squad tonight. They're spreading it around as well, and I guess they're kind of showing you need to spread it around to win a game this big.
Eddie Juarez knocks it through, and that makes it 14-7 in favor of the Eagles. A bit of a seesaw affair going on. The Eagles got out on top with a touchdown following the Raw interception. Prothro from the 2 yards out, and then Tavaki after an 80-yard drive for Northgate. Tavaki on a 1-yard run to make it 7 apiece, but then a nice drive put together by Clayton Valley, and it's again Mike Prothro over from 1 yard away, and a 14-7 Clayton Valley lead.
Well, I have to, one thing I have to say, when we covered Ignacio back in the day, they could be a little mundane to watch back in the day of the old double wing. I prefer this double wing much better. It seems like there's more room to move. There's more interesting type of plays being run. You know what I was talking about. We used to do Ignacio. It was a hop pitch left or right every single time. Now, sometimes, remember it was Will Smith. I was talking to someone about, we had him on. I don't know if you had joined us by then, but he was a big running back for Ignacio. Now, he was there. It was really exciting because, there were times Ignacio would go 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, first down. 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, first down. Will Smith was one of the first guys I remember that would really break off some runs. And it was a little bit more fun to watch. But this is a much more fun offense to watch. And you can see Northgate has basically taken and done the same thing with it. Running traditional double wing and then moving to the shotgun, moving to offset I.
Juarez's kickoff. This one is going to hit at the 2 and bounce into the end zone. And that'll be a touchback for Northgate. So again, Northgate will start at their own 20-yard line, trailing 14-7.
So one thing you can take out of this so far is kicking game-wise. Northgate's going to probably have to go 80 yards, and Clayton probably only have to go 60 yards because they simply just don't kick the ball deep. For whatever reason, I know that people would say maybe the guy can't kick it that far. You got to think you could even just go up there and slam it real hard and it would roll 30 yards.
But a lot of times I think, they don't want to risk the big return. They don't feel maybe their kick coverage team's not quite good enough. They don't want to risk the chance of the big play, so you give up the field position. Now they're going to go right up the middle.
21.
And this time it is number 21, Andrew Voorhees, the 180-pound senior. And Andrew's going to have maybe 1 yard on the play. It'll bring up second down and 9.
The only problem with that philosophy, Tony, is that at times you can get stuck because if you were to force them to go 80, 75 yards, it takes a little longer because sometimes their offense needs more plays to get down the field.
Pass to the outside, going to be caught. And that is Brandon Lee, who's going to have himself a first down. So Brandon Lee, 13 yards on the reception. That will be a first down. And we're seeing that a lot, Dan, those kind of quick out patterns, just get the ball out to the flat, fairly safe patterns. And they've worked pretty successfully here so far for the Northgate Broncos.
Well, what they're getting is they're getting the rack as well. The
run after catch.
The yak. Or rack.
Yards after catch. Okay.
Yards after catch or run after catch. Because usually that play, you're flattened right when you get it. that just means they found a cornerback they can pick on who's playing 10 yards off the ball, because when you turn around and you still can run for 5, that's an easy play every single time, Tony.
From the 32-yard line, first down. Tavaki cuts it back inside, quickly met, and he is going to be dragged down. And that's Jesse Medrano, number 42. And Tavaki looked like he had a lane there, and Medrano closed quickly to shut it off.
Short game, a couple yards.
Now 2 yards on the play. And call it second down and 8 for Northgate. But boy, it looked like Tavaki had a lane that time, and Medrano really closed quickly and made the tackle.
Good defensive play that time. Medrano, the big tackler on the Clayton Valley side. More traditional once again with the double wing.
35, and Tavaki breaks it this time. Cross midfield, foot race 40, and dragged down inside the 25. And coming up to make the tackle was number 8, Riley Smith.
I think it was Nelson. I know it's impossible to see these numbers, Tony, but I think it was Nelson.
Number 6, Garrett Nelson.
Yeah, it's going to be Garrett Nelson, number 6. I thought it was 8, Riley. But, boy, chased him down, and that time Tavaki able to pop that one out for a big yardage in a first down for Northgate, and what a football game we have right now.
He was trying to strip the ball.
So down inside the 25, about the 24-yard line. First down and 10 here for Northgate. Call it the 23 of Clayton Valley. They're going to pitch. Tavaki cuts it up inside and then met by a couple of defenders that time. And let's see him get off the pile. I think the first man to hit him is number 50, and Logan Bangert, and really banged into Tavaki that time.
That's a good name for a defensive player.
It is.
Well, they're back in that more traditional. Now, this is the one we used to see when Coach Ivankovich was running the Warriors after Murphy had left. That more traditional tight double wing, the hot potato pitch. For those of you that don't know why we call it that, watch the quarterback. If they run this, he gets rid of the ball very, very quickly, like it's a hot potato. Right here. Boom. Now, that time he faked.
Back to pass, throwing for the end zone. It's going to be knocked away and incomplete. And intended for number 1, Jake Smith, and Ben Davis looked like number 16. I thought it might have been number 18, Tanner Raw, who came up and make that play. But a very nice play by Clayton to knock it away. And talk about another good football name. How about Ben Davis?
Well, it's a 1 and then another number that I can't read. I can get the 1, Tony, off of that. So as your spotter tonight.
Clayton Valley, with those uniforms, you're making it very tough for us up here to see exactly who's doing what.
We have it in our budget to buy them new uniforms next year.
No, we definitely don't.
How about paint? Do we paint little outlines on the numbers?
All right, Peltier back, looking, watch the end zone again, throwing into double coverage. This one is going to be knocked away and incomplete. Attempted that time for Brandon Lee, who was double covered. And it looks like number 16 and number 18 are both there, Davis and Raw on the coverage.
Thank God for that. But, Tony, one thing I think they're getting to a habit of lofting the ball up real high. And you know what that does? That
gives the defenders time to run under it.
That's why you make the same amount of money I do.
Yeah.
You get, especially at this level, that's the one thing you can do to catch up, because you don't have 6'7" receivers out here where you can throw that big pass and expect a Calvin Johnson or Larry Fitzgerald to go and get a ball like that. These guys aren't as big. Now, Kremen is a little bit bigger as a tight end, but they've been targeting their wide receivers. Brandon Lee's a fairly decent-sized guy, but they're giving him time to get back there, and that's the problem.
I never liked that fade pattern, and when you throw that little rainbow, you want the fade. I like it when it's going toward the sideline, because if your receiver has beaten the defender, either he's going to catch it or the ball's going to be out of bounds. But when you throw it up there like that, it just seems like it's a jump ball.
The other thing is he's throwing it into coverage where there's 2 or 3 guys. Usually I like to see it when it's single men. That means you got to beat that one guy. So, they're running into a little problem here with the ball down close to the red zone, and it's going to be 4th down. So this is going to be a very interesting play call, Tony, and I know that they're probably going to go for it, or they could maybe try a field goal, depending on Sam Dale and his
4th down from the 22. Dale has not come onto the field here, so they look like they are going for it. Peltier and the offense on the field for the Northgate Broncos. We've got a couple of wide receivers split to the far side. 4th down and 10 for Northgate. Man in motion coming to the near side. Peltier going to fake it back under some pressure, trying to get away, and he's going to be sacked all the way back to the 30-yard line, and who got him? It looked like it was number 50, Logan Bangert. So Bangert makes a couple of very nice plays on this drive, and the Northgate Broncos are turned back by the Clayton defense.
Or it could have been number 56, Dakota Kramer, because an 0 and a 6 look exactly the same. So we're going to go out on a limb and say it was either Kramer or Bangert.
Great job by both guys.
That's right.
Okay.
They were both out there.
Let's be fair. So on downs, Northgate going to lose the football after starting that drive from their own 20. So Clayton Valley takes over here, Dan, at their own 30-yard line, 1st and 10.
4:34 to go, 14-7. Clayton Valley and a good defensive play. That could be a big turnaround for Clayton, because if they can go down and score a goal by 2, they get the ball to start the second half. That could kind of that'll lead Northgate to have to really. Oh, that could have been a Seattle Green Bay play right there, Tony, if the refs would get in on that.
So it's going to be.
Did you see that? At the end, the guy wrapped the ball around, in the Seattle.
Oh, right. That hugely controversial call. That was a low snap here again, Dan, and then finally Brother handing it to Brother, and then Northgate on that play. It's going to be a couple of yard loss for Clayton Valley, and this time we're going to have whistles blowing this one down.
It's a legal procedure.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense. So 5-yard penalty is going around Clayton Valley. They lose a couple of yards on the run, and now the illegal procedure penalty. So this is going to bring up a second down and about 17, call it maybe 18 here for the Eagles.
Right side of the line, there was movement, early start.
So from up their own 23-yard line, they need to get to the 40. So call this second down and 17 for Clayton Valley. But remember, they've broken off some big plays and even one big pass play. So they've got that big play ability in them, and they're going to need one here to keep this drive alive. Second down for the Eagles. Pitch, looking for a cutback, and going to be dragged down that time. Nice tackle there by number 23, Alex Hernandez. No, pardon me, Nick Mastrelli coming up. I'm reading the wrong roster, but Mastrelli coming up and making a very fine tackle and really not letting Joe Prothro get away that time.
Mastrelli credited with the tackle.
And timeout Clayton Valley as they want to talk things over. And while they do, Dan, let's go and check out some of these game logs and some of these whopping scores that these teams have put up this year. First for Tim Murphy and the Clayton Valley Eagles. 57 in a win against Montgomery, 68 against Vintage, 58 against Liberty, 55 against Hayward, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. 69 against Ignacio Valley, all wins, mind you. College Park, they scored 49-7 there. They beat a good Concord team, but 49-6. Look at where the Minutemen are right now in that Division II standings, Dan. They are 4th at 6-2, and boy, Clayton Valley just ran all over the Minutemen.
But even more shocking was the fact that Northgate ran all over the Minutemen. And last week, though, the big difference, Thompson, the running back over at Concord that's going to Washington State, limited to 35 yards by the Clayton Valley defense. You'd have to say that Northgate's ran the ball better out here tonight and had been a little bit more effective running the ball. I mean, they've had 2 long drives that ended up in turnover on downs and an interception. They've probably gained close to 200 yards. I'm sure Clayton Valley isn't used to that.
A lot of yards, but only the 1 touchdown so far for Northgate. 3rd down. Mike back to pass. Prothro now looking, chased by Pelletier. Here comes Pelletier. Can he make the tackle? Prothro going to get away. Still running. Still on his feet. Fires. And the pass is going to be just incomplete. And the pass intended for number 2, Spencer Raw. And Raw looked like he was able to make the catch, but picked it up off the turf.
However, that pass goes incomplete.
So that will be incomplete. That will bring up 4th down, but what a play by Mike Prothro to get away, Dan.
Amazingly, this will be, if they punt, this is only the 3rd punt of the year. Now, they're in a weird formation up there, but they've only punted 3 times. This will be the 3rd, twice before.
And they are going to kick this one away. Going to boot this. And this pass, almost an over-the-shoulder Willie Mays catch, going to be taken about the 27-yard line, right to the far side. Big block on that far side. No flags are flying. And then finally, the ball carrier, Brandon Lee, number 2.
Austin Lemack made a huge block on that side, and that was a totally legal block. He got him in the shoulder. Wasn't
and the official was right there, Dan, looking at the play all the way, so he certainly got in front of the would-be defender, to knock him down, because usually you're going to see the clipping called on that type of a play.
Unless you get a guy directly in the numbers. it's usually a clean block. Now you got 56 yards with 3:11 to go here in the first half. And Northgate back with the ball, having stopped Clayton Valley and made them punt for only the 3rd time this year. So very, very important. And we'll see what happens here on this drive. But Northgate's been moving the ball.
So Northgate from their own 44-yard line. Still 3:11 to go. Plenty of time in this half for the Broncos. Man in motion. Sharp, he's going to get it on the end around. Couple of blocks. They seal off the outside. He's able to cut it back inside. Taken down by Joe Prothrow, but after a pretty nice gain. And he's going to out close to midfield and right the nose of the football right on the 50-yard line. So that'll be a 6-yard gain for the Broncos. And you saw, Dan, that where they came out and they got the block on the outside to seal off the outside. They were able to seal off that inside and create that nice running lane for him to go through.
They've done that a couple times on this side of the field.
So from midfield, 2nd down and call it 4 for Northgate. Here comes Sharp again, and now whistles blow this play dead.
Movement. They went too quick, just like Clayton did on the previous set of downs.
And legal procedure going against the Broncos, and that'll wipe out that last play, and it'll go down to 2nd down and 9 as they back them up. Well, you hate to see that when you're running the ball effectively. You know, Dan, sometimes it's tough to get those yards back. So now 2nd down and long, call it 2nd down and 9 from their own 45-yard line, following the Northgate penalty.
2:33 to go here, Tony.
Procedure call against the Broncos.
So they don't have a lot of time, but they have enough, and they have 1 timeout left.
Pelletier, back to pass, throws for that far sideline. He's got a man open at the 45, down at the 40-yard line, and that'll be a 1st down. And Nick Mistrelli making the catch, and he'll have it here at about the 41-yard line of Clayton Valley.
I can tell you what they're doing over there. You can almost see him setting up right here. They kind of do a bracket coverage with the 4th linebacker outside. You can see him on our screen right now. He's walking up. And the corner, look how far the corner's back. If the linebacker doesn't take that pattern away, this guy on the far outside has 10 yards before he even gets to a defender.
Pelletier cuts it up the middle, breaks a tackle, hit by a host of tacklers, keeps going, lost the football, it's loose. Clayton Valley says they have it. What do the officials say? A scramble for him at the 34-yard line. Well, somebody looks... It looks like somebody's holding the football here for Northgate, and it's going to be 2nd down.
I love that. Every single guy. Well, you know what's funny, Tony? When the last Clayton guy got off the ground with the ball, there's no way they could have had the ball. Every guy didn't have the ball, so it had to have been Northgate's ball. And then there was a guy laying on the ball in white. So yeah,
that is more partisanship than I've seen since I watched Fox News.
Yeah, I agree.
So Pelletier's run gets it down close to the Eagle 35-yard line. Bring up 2nd down and about, call it 5 yards for Northgate. Following that run and fumble by Pelletier. Back to pass, under some pressure, hit as he throws, and the ball is going to be caught out here close to the 30-yard line. And that will be a catch by Nick Mastrelli, number 23.
He's down to the Eagle 30-yard line.
So that will be a 1st down. So a nice job by Northgate, Dan, to overcome that penalty and get a 1st down anyway.
Well, very nice. And that's what Pelletier does. He does that very nicely for a high school quarterback. A lot of high school quarterbacks throw that pass too hard. It gets tipped. It gets intercepted. You can see, too, look at 12 1st downs for Northgate, and Pelletier's thrown for over 100 yards. I mean, very impressive so far in the first half.
Yeah, but can they finish it off? Here's the end around, cuts it up inside, cuts it to the outside, still on his feet. It's Sharp, 20, 15, 10, Sharp down the sideline and dragged out inside the 5, down to about the 2.
And rips off a big gain.
Who dragged him down finally there? It looked like it was number 5, Joe Prothrow, and very upset is Prothrow that they gave up that big play.
Joe Prothrow finally with the tackle there. First and goal.
Well, you know, I'm very impressed with both teams so far tonight, but Northgate, I just have this feeling, this is a team, they ain't giving up. They will not quit.
Going to hand off, go to the right side, cut it upside, touchdown Tavaki, but there's a flag coming, and it looks like that's going to be a holding call.
We'll check the flag.
So let's check and see. It looked like that was thrown by the back judge, David Gregory. Usually means holding against the offense. Clayton Valley says it is. But just because Clayton Valley says they have the football doesn't mean they have the football.
That doesn't mean anything right now, Tony, but...
that will be holding.
I'd like to see this one again because I thought it was a little bit. I don't think it mattered that much. I think he was in no matter what. So taking away a touchdown in that situation, I don't think it was much of a hold. I kind of saw it on the screen.
So that'll back up the Broncos. Now the line of scrimmage about the 12-yard line for Northgate. And a goal-to-go situation here on first down. Back to pass, throws, and Haynes going to not be able to make the catch. That was not a lateral as the Clayton Valley Eagles chase the football down. That pass intended for number 22. That's Eric Haynes, and probably better off that he didn't catch the ball anyway. Would have lost yardage.
That was all on Pelletier that time. He's thrown some nice passes, but that one was not one of them. If he would have led him a little bit more out to the sideline, he might have had some yardage. And it was there initially. It looked like that play was there, but it went away real quick.
So here are the Broncos now facing third down and goal from the 12. Remember, they had it first and goal from about the 2-yard line. Make it second down, after the penalty. Tavaki going to go outside, gets a nice block. 10, 5, hit, and bang down after picking up some nice yards. And this time that was number 16. I think I saw that. Absolutely. Number 16, Ben Davis, coming up to make the tackle. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong, Tony. I think the announcer confirmed it. It was Ben Davis.
Here it goes down to the 3-yard line.
It was an Eagle with a 1.
It is tough to see the 16 or the 18. That's a tough one.
Back to that double wing toe.
Tavaki trying to get outside. He's tripped up before he gets to the goal line.
As he lunges forward, number 42.
Jesse Madrano, another big play. Coming up for the linebacker spot. We've called his name a couple of times tonight, Dan.
And he was in, Tony. It took Madrano that time. It took Madrano tripping him up because he was in if he had gotten past him.
Boy, what a great play by Madrano, flying through there just to trip up Tavaki. It's going to bring up fourth down now.
The clock is running, Tony, with 25 seconds to go. I don't think it doesn't show a timeout on the. Or if it does, they should have one timeout left.
No, fourth down, and Northgate going to take timeout.
Why would you let that much time run off the clock? I don't understand it. If you get a, I don't. Well, I guess
the figure is it's fourth down. They can't get a first down, so why give them any more time?
I guess
any more chances?
I was looking at that far sideline.
No, because they had first and goal from about the 2-yard line, but then they had the holding penalty, and now we're going to have fourth down, just short of the goal line. And there's the Northgate Broncos and Coach Justin Lowell in that pile talking it over. And Dan, if they don't put it in here, it's going to turn into one of the very frustrating halves of the season here for Northgate. You talked about how much they've moved it, Dan. They've moved it all over the place, and they have only the one touchdown.
Gained 230 yards in the first half, and they have 7 points. Whereas Clayton Valley hasn't had to move the ball that far because of where they've taken over field position-wise, and they have 14 points. And they had a touchdown taken off the board, so you're right, Tony. This would be very frustrating for the Broncos. What do you do here? I'd have to say you got to do something different because they've kind of, shown Tavaki right side a number of times now. Maybe a fake and a quarterback or
sharp
reverse,
on the end around.
Sharp on the end around. That might be my call because he has the speed to get outside.
And we know, Dan, that running right up the middle between the tackles right now, you talked about they don't have that big bruising running back. That has not been a good play for Northgate. So let's see if they don't try to go around the flanks. Nose the football on the 1-yard line.
And I try to run away from Madrano.
Pitch, sharp, bangs it in. Touchdown, Northgate.
Wow. That's
off tackle. Jimmy Sharp off tackle to the left, and he is able to bang in. Touchdown for the Broncos. And just an extra point away from tying it up. So they go 56 yards, and they are in for the score.
We called it, Tony. Sharp.
All right, here comes Dale. Sam Dale on to try the extra point to try to tie this ball game up. Snap low. The hold is put down, and the kick is up, and it is through. And we are tied with just 12 seconds to go here.
The first half of play, your score now, the Eagles 14, the Broncos 14.
So a 14-14 tie and a nice drive there, going 56 yards for Northgate. And we talked about how much they've moved it, Dan, and all of a sudden that would be frustrating first half has turned into a very nice feeling here.
Absolutely. Northgate has played very, very well. This is a big game for them, Tony. For those of you that have been around, and I've been around this area so long that some people think I settled it, but you know, I've been watching high school football around here since 1967, and I love high school football. I think it's played at its best. It can be one of the best watchable forms of sports, and this game tonight is proving that. This is two good teams. They're very evenly matched. They kind of know each other. See, that's one of the things about this, Tony, is that they both kind of run the same offense. It's not as hard to replicate it in scout teams defensively in practice during the week because you kind of know. You go out to the other side who doesn't run this a lot, down the 680 corridor. These teams don't run this kind of offense. A lot more passing and stuff. It's hard to replicate this, but this league kind of is used to this kind of weird offenses, especially double wing. So you're seeing tonight, so one of the coaches told me, I forget which one it was, but he said whoever plays the smartest and whoever plays the toughest is going to win. Well, so far, both teams are pretty much playing smart football aside from one turnover, and both teams are playing real tough. So the second half is going to be the big tell-all here. I think we're going to go to halftime 14-14.
It's the kind of game I really love, Dan. Here is that pooch kick again. Call for the fair catch, and it is made at about the 42-yard line, so the same situation. But
43-yard line of the Eagles.
Just about 11 seconds to go here for Clayton Valley.
With 11 seconds to go in the first half.
And an all tied at 14, but the kind of game that I really like it because the offenses are executing. They're moving the football up and down, but yet the defenses have made plays too. They've certainly not been held to nothing as far as defensively not being able to come up with plays. They've been able to get some stops when they needed to and made some great plays. So you're seeing a nice balance here, both offensively and defensively from both teams.
And highlight reel type plays. Good tackles and guys making stops, but then again coming back with, it's a game of good coaching because you're getting plays that counter what has been happening out on the field and teams are able to move. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. If you remember that last time they ran the play action in the middle and had Prothro down the middle, he had three guys wide open. So we'll see what they try to do here with 11 seconds to go.
Now 11 seconds, let's see what Clayton Valley do. And they swing it out. They got a man. Prothro breaks a tackle. Cuts it back to the inside 40, 35, still on his feet. And looked like he wanted to go one way, then went another, Dan. But that will end the half. An exciting play to end the half. And Joe Prothro is stopped after the nice gain, but that will do it for the first half of play. And what a first half it was here in Concord. It's the Northgate Broncos 14 and the Clayton Valley Eagles 14. And we want to introduce that 5K run walk held to help raise funds for high school sports in the Mount Diablo Unified School District. And we'll have more about that later on. And we are at halftime, a 14-14 tie. We'll step away. Come on back. Second half coming up here from Concord.
Our fourth annual 5K for Saving Sports for Mount Diablo, the United Mount Diablo Athletic Foundation. We have been just blessed to have great community support and support from our schools to keep high school sports alive. Without everyone coming out and supporting our race, I'm not sure we'd have high school sports still going. So we have a great turnout today. Our competitive run has started. Our fun run's coming up. And if you look around here today, you'll see we've got people from all our different schools and the community out here with a big support of UMDOF and sports for our Mount Diablo Unified Schools.
C-C-H-G-N-A-H-E, Northgate High. N-O-R-T-H-G-A-A-H-E, Northgate High. What?
I'm Howard Geller, the mayor of Clayton, with Ron Leone, the mayor of Concord, and we're here representing our cities for a fantastic event, UMDOF. And this event is going to raise money to keep our sports alive. And it's so important that participants come down here and race. We have another race at 9:45. We need your support. We need your funds. Otherwise, we might lose our athletic programs. So please come down and support UMDOF.
Yeah, I concur with Howard. It's extremely important that we come out here to support all of our sports here in our schools. It's great to see so many people down here, but it's unfortunate at the same time that we have to do this because of the funding sources. But hopefully everybody will come out and support the schools because we need it.
I run track and cross country for Northgate and came out here today to support sports at our schools.
My name's Steve Wolf, this is Northgate Football, and we're here today just because it brings us more as a family and brings us one. It's a lot of bonding and stuff like that, and without Northgate Football, we'd probably be not doing good. It's really good for the community. Sports is just a really good thing for everybody in general, and we don't know where we'd be without this race because it's really good also for the community. And words from my other players, anything for you guys?
We're number one!
Yeah.
We're from College Park! Yeah. Woo! We play water polo! Water polo! Yeah! We're here for the fun run and we play sports at College Park. Sports are good!
It's really important that we come and represent our school and our sport. We do cross country here to represent Clayton Valley Charter High School.
We love cross country because it's just a really good way to meet new people and also just run and just have fun with whatever we do.
Our first place winner, this is Daniel Stalters at Northgate High School.
And I'm a teacher at Sequoia Middle School. I teach PE and art. Go Giants! I'm out here running today to support the sports programs at Mount Diablo Unified School District. Strong believer in getting out and enjoying these runs, whether you walk it, run it. It's just a fun place to be, supporting our schools. I grew up playing sports in this area and I want to keep supporting as many years as I can. So go Mount Diablo!
You're almost there. Yeah.
We play volleyball because sports are important. We're doing the run because we want to support our school district.
Coming back, just getting ready to start the third quarter, a 14-14 tie here from Concord between Clayton Valley and the Northgate Broncos. Well, let's talk about that 5K run and walk held to help raise funds for high school sports in the Mount Diablo Unified School District. I understand they've raised $40,000, and you want to check it out, the UMDAF, United Mount Diablo Athletic Foundation, www.unitedmountdiabloathletics.org, and congratulations to them to raising all that money, $40,000. Very nicely done.
Let's talk a little bit about the first half, Tony. Two 2-yard runs by Prothro for Clayton, and 2 1-yard runs, one from Tavaki and one from Sharp for Northgate, and that's where we're at 14-14. But there's been over 500 yards of total offense. Northgate has 276 on 164 rushing, 112 passing. Clayton 237 on 112 running, 80 passing. Sharp has 74 yards and a touchdown. Tavaki 76 yards and a touchdown. Pelletier 7 of 13 for 112 and 1 interception, and Joe Prothro 8 for 56. So you'd have to say so far they've kept Joe Prothro pretty much in check, even though he's tore off a couple of big runs.
He has, and you look at Northgate, Dan, remember they had the raw interception after a nice drive there. They also lost the ball on downs after moving it very well in that second quarter, so they really had a couple of drives that they were able to move the ball, pass the ball, run the ball very well. They came up empty. You figure they could have 21 or 28 points right now. They've moved the ball that well.
Yeah, check that. I had said in the first half that Clayton would get the ball back, but actually they got the ball in the first half, and Northgate is going to get the ball here to start, and that's momentum shift for Northgate, who gets the ball to start after just scoring late in the second quarter.
All right, Eddie Juarez for Clayton Valley getting set to kick this one off as the third quarter just about underway here from Concord. The Clayton Valley Eagles 14, the Northgate Broncos 14. And here we go to start the third quarter. Juarez, and we are underway. Putting this one away, back it goes, and this one is going to bounce it near the end line, and that'll be a touchback for Northgate, so they'll take over at their usual spot, Dan, at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's a different kicking game for both teams. You know, this kind of reminds you of the old De La Salle. because De La Salle always had a kicker that could kick it in the end zone, and then no one would ever kick the De La Salle because you had guys like that. What's that guy's name? Plays for the Jaguars. Maurice Jones.
MJD.
You've heard of him. And guys like that who are currently making millions of dollars playing in the NFL who would run the ball from wherever to the other end zone every single time.
All right, Northgate from their own 20-yard line. First down and 10, a 14-14 tie. And Pelletier, the I formation behind him, hands the ball. And it's going to be a couple of games. It's going to be Jimmy Sharp. And give Jimmy about 3 yards, and he'll pick up that he picks up on that carry. And it'll bring up second down and 7 as we are underway here in the third quarter. So some great stats and a great first half. Let's see if they can match it here in the second.
Spencer Raw was at the bottom of that pile. I think he made the initial hit on Sharp, but we'll have to see here what they come up with and what team has made the most adjustments at halftime to stop the other.
I like the way we can look at Northgate, and you can see them down all in unison looking at their wrists for the play. And in motion, Jimmy Sharp, and tripped up, initially fumbles the football, it's loose. And they're going to say, let's see, they're going to say down. Clayton Valley says they've got the football, and the officials, well, I haven't said anything yet. And now it looks like Clayton Valley does have the football. They say first down, Clayton Valley.
I guess if you wish for it hard enough, Tony, eventually it'll happen for you. That time Sharp had to make a cutback and was hit from the one of the pursuing linebackers who came in from the left side and knocked the ball out. Clayton that time, after the third time they've jumped on a ball supposedly here in this ball game, that time they do get the ball, and this could be a big momentum shift here. Now Northgate runs just 2 plays and Clayton has it back, and they have real good field position.
So Clayton from the Northgate 32 as they take over following the fumble. And brother to brother, and they're going to be tripped up. Looked like that was going to be a big gain. And then finally able to come up there was Stephen Cuneo, number 3, to make the stop. But it looked like Joe Prothro was going to break that one off for big yardage. As it is, he gets a first down anyway.
I don't know if you've checked with Donnie and Johnny Van Zant if you can use that brother-to-brother trademark, because they made a record once.
Did they really?
Yeah, the Skinner boys. But that's a good one, Tony.
Low snap again. Again, brother-to-brother. Prothro going up the middle. Able to pick up some nice yards. Mike Prothro handling that low snap very well, able to get it to his brother quickly so they don't have to give away a down, and they're going to get inside the 15 down close to the 14-yard line. Going to bring them up a little bit short of the first down, about 3 yards, maybe 4. So second down here for Clayton Valley, trying to take advantage of that Sharp fumble. And now we have from the shotgun, but now we're going to have whistles blow this play dead. Probably
prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty,
back up the Eagles.
Still second down.
We've had 3 or 4 of those penalties tonight, Tony, and one of the things that these offenses demand is precision and efficiency at the line of scrimmage. That count usually is comes quick. They almost all. It is amazing to me that in the 8th game of the season that they're still looking at their wristbands. Unless they've changed some plays around or using a different formation that maybe installed this
from
week.
The 19, and this time it looked like the Northgate Broncos jumped. A couple of them looked like they jumped in unison. Well, let's
prior to the snap,
this time,
encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty,
they give up the 5 yards and they get them right back.
Wonder what the record is for consecutive procedure offside calls in a game.
I'm sure there's a record for it somewhere.
I'm just saying, what would be the record for 7 straight times or something like that? Would that be kind of interesting?
So we're inside the 15, out of the 14-yard line now. Second down for Clayton Valley following the 2 penalties. Prothro up the middle, cuts back, breaks a tackle, on his feet, touchdown! Prothro! Touchdown, Clayton Valley! So Joe Prothro takes it in. The Clayton Valley Eagles go 32 yards following the Northgate fumble, and they have reclaimed the lead at 20-14.
Well, he ran over most of Northgate and one of the officials and still made it into the end zone there, Tony, on that play. That was all Prothro. That's the Prothro we've been reading about coming in, not only with good vision but also power, and he took that one in on his own.
So Prothro from 14 yards out, and the extra point is added by Eddie Juarez. And it's 21-14, so you got to give credit to the Clayton Valley Eagles taking advantage of that Northgate fumble. They take it to 32 yards, and again, they lead it by 7.
Well, that had been one of the things that people had been talking about coming into this game. Clayton Valley's turned the ball over very few times this year. And you might remember one of the reasons why Northgate had problems, especially in the second half against Antioch, because they did have some turnovers. And tonight, their 2 turnovers, you could say right now, are huge.
Well, they did have that interception by Raw earlier. Northgate turned it over, and then Clayton Valley then started from the Northgate 48 following that interception, and they ended up taking that the distance, and Mike Prothrow went over from 2 yards away. So both times they have turned it over, Clayton Valley has turned it into touchdowns, and they lead it by 1 touchdown, 21-14. All right, Juarez getting set to kick off. Northgate going to get the football back, but as we talked about, Dan, they certainly have had no problems moving the football, so they're going to get another chance here. Juarez, and another good boot by Eddie, and this one is going to be into the end zone for another touchback. So Northgate will start again from their own 20-yard line.
Which is no real shock to Northgate tonight. You know, Tony, a couple other things I was checking on Coach Murphy. Just some of the highlights. Another highlight, you know, he went down and beat Long Beach Poly in 2005 when Poly was number 5 in the nation. And he told me the story of how when they arrived, the Poly people thought that they were the junior varsity because they were so much smaller than Long Beach Poly, and they beat them down there. And that doesn't happen very often. You remember, I think De La Salle was the first time it went down there and actually beat them at their home in many, many years. So I have a couple others here I'd like to talk about.
Long Beach Poly, a long-time power in high school football. All right, fakes the handoff, and Peltier going to go straight ahead and pick up some nice yardage as he gets out across the 25-yard line. And let's see where they're going to mark this, about the 24-yard line. I'm actually past the 25 to about the 28-yard line, 29-yard line, so about yard short or so of a first down. So 9 yards for Peltier on that run straight ahead.
I think he gained more yards on your announcing than he did in the actual play.
I made it seem like a long run.
Yeah, it was very.
I formation. Going to give it to the up man. No, he's going to fake it again. And Peltier going to go around the right side and lost the football. And boy, to see where that one came out.
That's the second time in 3 plays he's fumbled. They might want to start. You know, I'd had only just questioned the fact that Tavaki didn't play a lot early. And since he come in the game, they really started running well with him. And then all of a sudden, now they're going away from that. Yeah. You know, it kind of reminds you, sometimes the 49ers get into this, like they have too many weapons now, so they have to spread it around too much, and they don't rely on the big horses. I think in a game like this, you have to rely on your big horses. And I would be looking at Tavaki and or Sharp at this point in the game. Or they haven't thrown the ball much here in the late stages, second quarter, early third quarter. And that worked well for him in the first half.
Well, a couple of fumbles. They lost one. Here's Tavaki going right up the middle. Gets a pretty good head of steam, Dan. But he's gang tackled there. He will get across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. So leave about 6 yards short of the first down. And let's see how much more they go to Tavaki here. He had the Sharp fumble on the last drive. Peltier fumbled on this drive. But fortunate for Northgate, they did not turn it over on this last time. Let's see if they can't tie up this football game. Second down from about their own 36. Handoff. Tavaki trying to go up the middle this time, and too many black shirts there. And not much of a gain, going to leave them short of the 40-yard line. Will bring up third down.
I think they need to extend the field farther to sideline and get him out into some running lanes, because running up the middle has not worked that well for them. They haven't gained that much yardage, and they fumbled the ball a couple of times. When they've went outside is when they've had their biggest success in this game, unless they're setting them up for that big play, Tony, we always talk about.
Well, they've hit the flanks well, Dan, and when they've gone off tackle, they've had some success. But between the tackles, and especially between the guard and, that A-gap and B-gap runs, that has been very tough indeed. So give a lot of credit to that defensive line for Clayton Valley. Third down. Fake. Peltier back. Looks like we want to set up a middle screen. They do. It's going to be a first down, and the catch is made by Jake Smith. And he is going to have the necessary yardage for the first down. So a nice play there on that sort of inside screen hit. They set it up really well. You saw the defenders coming in very close, and Pelletier waited and waited and then dumped it off for a successful play.
Well, you got to have a quarterback who doesn't panic on that play right there, because you basically have to let him come almost, you're going to get it. So that was very nice. It got him a first down.
First down from the 45, and they're going to go to Voorhees, and he's going to get out to midfield. So Voorhees, a nice lunging play, and Bangert, number 50, came up and made the tackle. That'll be a gain of 5, and it'll bring up second down and 5 for Northgate.
And, Tony, the ball is right at midfield. And I'm not lying. It is basically centered at midfield. This is as close to midfield as you'll ever get.
Second down and 5, I formation. And again, now they're going to fake it. Pelletier is going to keep it this time. And he's going to have a first down now, down to the 40-yard line inside the 40, and they're still banging around, and there's somebody blow a whistle. I don't know why they waited so long to blow that whistle, Dan. Forward progress looked like it was stopped for a good 3-second count. And they just let him, I guess that's what you call in rugby a scrum.
That is a scrum, Tony, or that's the start of a 20-man over-the-top battle royal in the WWE is what that looked like.
But an up-the-middle run worked that time down as they get down to the Clayton Valley 40-yard line. First down for Northgate. So the Broncos on the move, trying to tie things up. Still a whole lot of time. 6:17 and counting here in quarter number 3 from Concord. Pitch. Tavaki wants the right side. Tries to get outside. Tripped up and down he goes. Nice defensive play that time by number 3, Curtis Grant, coming up to make the play for the defensive back spot. And Curtis Grant makes a very nice play that time to get Tavaki stopped.
You know what I noticed on that play, Tony, is if the tackle is on this side of the field, I can see the numbers. So next time we do a game here, the opposing team has to run all their plays to the right. That's the only answer I have. If it's over there, I can't see.
Curtis Grant, the linebacker, making a nice play there. Clayton Valley shows blitz. They come with it. Ball thrown on the outside, complete. That's going to be caught short of the 30-yard line. But a nice-looking play there. I think that was Brandon Lee, number 2, on the catch. He's got it.
Yeah, his running mate Smith was out there again setting a little pick for him. That time it wasn't as obvious as the first time.
They're going to need 2 yards here for a first down. But, boy, they've really done so many things well on offense tonight, have the Broncos. You're really kind of surprised, and they only have the 14 points. And here's everybody looking at those wristbands again. Third down and call it 2. Need to get to about the 30-yard line for a first down. Hand off, Tavaki. He's got the first down, cuts it back inside. Dragged down by his hair. And that was Bangert who grabbed his hair, and you really can't blame him, Dan, because you're just trying to grab whatever, and there's a whole lot of hair there. And Bangert grabbed it, and you can hear the woos and the ahs from the crowd.
You know, Tony, it's like Hollywood in the 80s. A whole lot of hair, if you like those hair bands. I always thought that was a penalty. I didn't know you could do that.
Well, you can't grab around the collar, as you know, but apparently the hair is legal.
Wow. Well, Tavaki didn't say nothing. He just got right back up.
And it's flowing out there, so somebody's going to reach out and grab it. First down. And Tavaki going to get it again, and this time he's going to be swarmed up there after he picks up a couple of yards. We'll call it about 2, maybe 3. It'll bring up second down here for Northgate.
A little bit more effective running to the left side of the line than when they came back to the right side or up the middle. So maybe they saw something on that, Tony, but they've been able to move the ball since they got the ball back. And if they could score here, they could be very close to going in the fourth quarter tied in this big game. So this is a very, very big drive for Northgate.
No, it's been a great football game, and Northgate trying to answer after they fumbled on their last possession. And then from 32 yards out, the Clayton Valley Eagles took it in on a great run by Joe Prothro from 14 yards away. But now, Clayton Valley, they've gone 60 yards so far. Can they go the rest of the way? Throwing here to the near side. It's caught. 10, 5, touchdown, Northgate. It's Brandon Lee.
They love that sideline pattern, and Brandon Lee that time got the run after catch yardage. 7th touchdown of the year, the leading receiver for Northgate. He scores with the extra point. We're tied here. 3:49 to go in the third quarter, Tony. And as you've said many times, but I'll say it again, this has been a really, really good football game.
Pelletier, he's got his man Brandon Lee from 20 yards out. They tie up this football game, or are attempting to tie it here with the point after. So Austin Kyle will hold, and Dale's kick is up, and it is good. And just like that, we are tied 21 apiece. 3:49 to go in the third quarter, and this game just gets better and better as the night goes on.
One thing I want to mention, Sam Dale's come in, young kicker for Northgate, and solidified their kicking game. You remember that Antioch game? Their kicking game was kind of a mess. They went for 2 a number of times. They didn't even try to kick extra points or field goals. You've seen the kickoff game, and they haven't. I don't think they've punted. I don't think Northgate has punted. There's only been 1 punt in this game so far.
Right, by Clayton Valley.
Yeah, this has been very, very exciting up and down football. 21-21. Probably now we're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of 700 yards of total offense in this game. And I tell you, you got to take it off to these kids. Now, Northgate, one thing about high school is every 2 or 3 years you get a turnover of kids. These kids really don't know what happened in the past, but Northgate really has not played this level of football very often. And this goes back to when, like I mentioned the last time when Antioch played them, they started as YV South and didn't even go to the school yet. It was one of those situations. And then the sophomores and the juniors, and before you knew, it was 3 years before they had seniors. So it took them a long time to get going. They played their games all over the place. Now they have their own stadium. Clayton Valley played all over the place too, Tony, back in the day. They used to play college, DVC used to play at LMC until they got their own stadium. Now they have one of the best stadiums around.
Wonderful venue. Called a lot of games from here, Dan. It's always been very pleasant to come out here. Dale, this is going to be an onside kick. Going to be handled by Clayton Valley, and they're going to get good field position again. Nice hands that time, number 42. And there's Madrano doing it on defense. He's made some nice plays there, Dan, and that was a huge play right there to handle that onside kick.
I think the big thing, when you mentioned Madrano tonight, is he hasn't played much on offense. Madrano is one of those guys they mentioned, along with Raw, that might see the ball outside of pro throw, but we've really seen the pro throw brothers on offense tonight. They've been the answer for Clayton Valley, and on it's amazing, though, after not playing much in the first quarter, Tavaki over 100 yards rushing now for Northgate.
Pro throw, hands to pro throw. Kind of stutter step there at the line of scrimmage, and then they're able to pick up a couple of yards, getting out across the 45 to about the 47. We're going to mark this down at the 47-yard. That'll be a 2-yard gain for Joe. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
2nd and 8 for the Eagles. Well, no matter what happens in this game, one team is going to win and win the championship. The other team's going to the playoffs, too.
Right. Going to pitch it outside. Pro throws, got it. Cross midfield, banging around, and he's going to get close to the 45-yard. They're going to mark him down at the 44-yard line of Northgate. And that'll be very close to a first down, maybe just about a yard short. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1, and we've got an injured Bronco on the field. And it looks like it's number 69, Max Moore, slow to get up, and they will attend to Max.
Northern California's largest community arts program is here in Walnut Creek.
We have over 180 professionals teaching music, dance, drama, and visual arts.
With over 680 classes, workshops, and events.
There are classes for youth, teens, and adults.
With opportunities for beginners through professionals.
Find your spark.
Learn, inspire, grow.
But as it is, it's going to be 3rd down here. 3rd down and about a yard here for Clayton Valley. Trying to untie this game. All tied at 21. 3rd quarter action coming to you from Concord and Clayton Valley High School. Clayton Valley Charter High School as the Eagles trying to reclaim the lead. Going to go up the middle. And pro throw going to bang his way inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. And that'll be a first down.
6-yard gain, just straight up the middle. Good blocking at the line of scrimmage at contact, and made a nice spin move to get away from one defender. And
You can see why he's leading the East Bay in rushing because, you know, Dan, he's got some of that breakaway speed, but I think he makes most of his yards after contact. That tight formation again. Going to pitch it up I'll try to get it up inside that time, and that time was Curtis Grant on the carry after that little pitch. Really more of a shovel pass coming to Grant that time.
Good defensive play that time on the Northgate side. What we were talking about earlier before the injury, Tony, is Clayton, if they were to win out and beat Rancho Cotati in that sectional playoff game that they've added this year, they could very possibly be a state championship team this year. So that's what they're kind of looking at. A loss to Pittsburgh doesn't exactly knock you down too far because that's a team that you're actually playing one level up to move up to play.
It looked like they just ran out of time, did they? Let's see. I'm going to say too many guys in the huddle. Let's see what the call is going to be.
Prior to the snap, illegal substitution, defense, 5-yard penalty.
That'll cost them 5.
Down remains 2.
You'd really have to say, Tony, tonight, even though they haven't done a lot, but really Northgate, if they lose, they'll have to look back at the 2 or 3 times that they've made mistakes. They've made a couple. That's a bad penalty to have 12 people on the field. They've had a couple of they had the holding that brought back the touchdown. They eventually scored. They had the interception, the fumble. They've basically beaten themselves tonight so far. But they're tied, but if they were to lose.
2nd down and 2. Pro throw picks his way. Able to crawl across the pile, Dan, and make a really nice play. And did you see the way he just kind of paused there for a minute, then found some of an opening, and really just kind of poured over it. And really a very patient run that time by Joe Prothero. 1st down for Clayton Valley.
Well, good running backs have to have the whole package. They have to have speed in the open field. They have to have vision to make the cuts at the line, and they have to have some power to break tackles, especially in this kind of offense where a lot of times you are running inside the tackles.
From the 24-yard line, 1st down. They're going to go around the end, 20, 15, and that's going to be Grant again on the sideline. Maybe that's going to be Spencer Raw, number 2 on the carry. So he's got a nice gain. That's going to be another 1st down.
That play, Tony's called convoy left because he had a convoy out in front of him. That was just pull blocking. Lots of guys out there taking out the number of Broncos that have followed, and that's where you get big gains.
So Spencer able to get inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 1st down and 10. Here's Joe Prothero right up the middle. Prothero is going to be dragged down this time, trying to get close to the 10-yard line. Going to leave it just short at about the 11. Pickup of about 3, maybe 4 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd down here for Clayton Valley.
Just 38 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter, so we're getting into a tense time, Tony. We're touchdown here, touchdown there could be the game decider.
Clayton Valley trying to reclaim the lead. Broncos nearly jump, but able to stay in their stance, and now what's this call going to be? Timeout, Clayton Valley, as they want to talk it over. Winding down here in the 3rd quarter, a wonderfully played game tonight, and Clayton Valley, who have not trailed tonight, trying to reclaim the lead for the 4th time.
I'd like to know when the last time they trailed was, the way you look at those scores, Tony.
Well, check back at their log again, Dan. And
well, I mean, you can't really tell from the log, but I'm just saying it might have been opening day, it might have been early in a game, but they haven't been behind much this year.
When you look at that log, Dan, and you just, I kind of do a double take when I look at and I see a log like that, because I see some of those eye-popping numbers, and you just got to think to yourself, like, wow, Tim Murphy has really got these guys clicking because they are just piling on the points all over the place. Of course, just that opening week loss to Pittsburgh, the only blemish so far on the Clayton Valley log so far, Dan.
Well, one of the interesting things, I asked Coach Murphy when we talked this week, and this goes back to when Coach Ivankovich was Ignacio and he succeeded Coach Murphy. I asked Ivankovich once, if you had Matt Gutierrez as your quarterback, would you run a different offense? Because this is a guy that played in the NFL, right? And he says, no, I would run the double wing. That's just like Murphy said, I would have run a different offense, similar, but I would have put him in the shotgun, have him run a little bit more because he's more athletic and a good passer. So
2nd down, Pelletier breaks a tackle trying to escape. And now we're going to have flags flying here. Could be a hole. We'll see what that marker is going to be all about. Thrown from the backfield, the back judge.
It was actually the ref.
for the referee, but he's in the backfield position.
About the only two things that can be called there, Tony, are holding or a tackling mistake, like a face mask or a horse collar or something like that, which was not done. I believe it's a hold.
Hold, offense, decline, 3rd down.
So Northgate going to decline the penalty here. That's an interesting call, Dan. Instead of backing them up and giving them the extra play, they're going to go ahead and say, well, we got them stopped, so let's just go ahead and make that one count.
Well, when you're averaging 10 yards a play, you give them an extra play. They probably can get it here, though. They have 3rd and 10. They have 2 plays to get a first down, and then they'll be inside the 5 if they do get it without scoring.
3rd down. Trying to go up the middle, and a nice tackle that time. And it looked like number 24, Austin Lemack, coming up to make that stop.
Lemack's had a nice little game tonight, Tony. A couple of tackles, had the big block on the return. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter, Tony.
All right, we'll take a break. Come on back. We're all tied at 21.
You're free to explore downtown Walnut Creek. Shopping, dining, and entertainment are only a stop away on the free ride. Catch the free ride trolley from BART, Broadway Plaza, the Leisure Center, or one of its many downtown stops. The free ride stops every 15 minutes to keep your day moving. Check out cccta.org for more information on how you are free to explore downtown Walnut Creek.
And that snap, the hole, that ball is going to be blocked. Blocked field goal, picked up by Clayton Valley. Down they go at the 35-yard line.
This is huge, Tony. This is the first big mistake of the game for Clayton Valley. The snap was low, they fumbled about, the kick blocked, and now they come out of it. Even if they had went for it and not made it, they would have made Northgate go about 90 yards. Now Northgate has the ball at the 35, one of their best starting positions of the game.
Didn't look like all that bad of a snap, just unable to handle it for the Clayton Valley. And now from the 35-yard line, Northgate going to take over 1st down and 10 as we begin this 4th quarter. So the first play from the 4th quarter is a blocked 25-yard field goal, and Northgate in business here.
Pelletier 150 yards passing, Tavaki 96, Sharp 85, Pelletier 31, and Voorhees 8 yards. So you're seeing that distribution of the ball. Surprisingly tonight, Haynes has not handled the ball much. This is not Pelletier. That's a wounded duck.
And boy, it's going to be intercepted at the 42-yard line. Pelletier, intercepted, and now it's going to be returned all the way back to the 30-yard line by Joe Prothrow. That ball was put up by Brandon Lee, and Dan, that one never had a chance to get to the intended receiver.
Well, you know, Tony, there a lot of things happened here. First of all, that was Brandon Lee making the pass. That pass had no chance. There's a flag on the play. Madrano made a big block on the interception return, and he was kind of going crazy that they called this. I don't know if it's on him or on someone near him. Here's the call.
No foul, interception, 1st down block.
I wonder what that flag was picked up for, Tony, unless it was for, I don't know, because there was no tip on the pass, you know, where they can call pass interference or pick it up. The block looked legal, so maybe everything just evened out. Well, so basically where we are now is about where we were 5 minutes ago in the game. It's almost like a Groundhog Day situation. Clayton has the ball. They're on the 30-yard line. They have a 1st down, and now we're going to have to see what happens here. But 2 big mistakes almost one right after another for these 2 teams.
Brandon Lee, I was going to say that was an option pass, but it didn't look like any option at all. He looked like he was throwing the ball all the way, Dan. And I mean, that ball was at least 5 yards, 6 yards short of the intended receiver. Really a very easy interception for Joe Prothrow.
Traditional double wing that time.
Here's Raw getting the ball, or let's see, that's number 18, Tanner Raw. And Tanner picks up a couple of yards, about 3. That'll bring up 2nd down and 7. So the defense by Northgate being asked to get another stop. They got the other one down, forcing on that 4th down play and a field goal. 25-yard field goal was blocked, but then they throw the interception, their 3rd turnover of the game. Mike Prothro running around there with the fake. He's going all the way. 10, 5, touchdown Eagles. Mike Prothro from 27 yards out, and again, Clayton Valley has the lead.
And when you watch this play, Tony, you'll see that they were lined up in the traditional tight double wing, double tight formation. But the snap came back to the quarterback who was in the shotgun. Everyone assumed a run, and probably to the left side because that's where they were strong. Prothro just ran it back, ran it to the right where there was only one defender, and he outran him. And now Clayton Valley. Now that could be a big block right there. That's 2 kicks in a row. 27-21. Northgate has plenty of time, 11 minutes. That could be huge because now we're no longer in that 7-point range.
Boy, the snap was high, Dan. And then by the time it got down, the Northgate Broncos were in the backfield able to block the ball.
What do you want?
So that makes it 27-21 in favor of the Eagles, but they missed the extra point. And you can see that the snap was definitely high that time, Dan, and by the time it was put down, the Broncos were all over that. So we've seen 2 block kicks now, and the result is a 6-point lead for Clayton Valley. And as you said, a whole lot of time here for Northgate. Still 11 minutes even to go in this football game.
Well, Tony, I don't think we're going to see our 28-28 that we anticipated, perhaps. We've had 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, all 3 times Northgate coming back to tie Clayton Valley. It's 27-21 Clayton, 11 minutes to go. Northgate's moved the ball great tonight. It's been their mistakes that have really given Clayton Valley the chance to come back. I'm sure Coach Lowell is looking at that last play again and saying, wow, we tried to bite off a little bit more than we could chew on that one.
Yeah.
That was the kind of drive where it's 21-21. You've just stopped them. They did not score after having that long drive. Let's methodically go down, take some time off the clock, and put this one away. And they basically gave them the ball back on 1 play, and Clayton Valley scored 2 plays later.
All right, here come the Broncos now. They're going to get another chance at this. And again, this kick is going to go. This one's actually going to be returned from the 5-yard line. 10, 15, 20. Over here on the near side. 40, 35. Still on his feet. Cut back at the 30. 25 gets a block. 20, 15 inside the 10. Bang down at the 5-yard line.
Unbelievable, Tony. They did that little huddle where 3 or 4 guys come through. They ran the reverse to the left sideline, and what a play. Absolutely stunning. The Northgate sideline and fan section is going out of their mind.
92 yards on that return, and what a job that was. And boy,
that's Tavaki. That was Tavaki.
And it looked like he tucked in his hair.
I know. There was no hair.
It kind of threw me because he didn't have the hair that time.
I'm going, number 4, he ain't on the roster. Wait, that's Tavaki. He must have got a haircut.
First down and goal for Northgate. Hand, sharp, left side, caught in the backfield and dropped. So Jimmy Sharp dropped that time by Spencer Raw. And Spencer Raw having himself a nice game tonight.
Well, we've called those names the brothers you mentioned. Brother to brother and 2 brothers. Spencer and Tanner and Joe and Mike. It's been they've been very integral parts of this game tonight. But I'll tell you, this has been an exciting game. Every big play met by another big play.
Handoff, trying to go to the inside. And this time it's Sharp, and he gets inside the 5 and down to about the 4-yard line. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and goal here, Dan.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Tavaki, if he's in the game, run to the weak side on the right side.
And here he comes, Dan. I think this is that isn't Tavaki coming into the game.
Oh, that's he did something to his hair.
No, it is Tavaki, number 4. There he is.
I think after that tackle, he said, "You ain't tackling me with my hair no more."
I think it's a smart move.
Yeah, because you can see a big scrunch of it right under his helmet.
And they're going to give it to Tavaki. And he's going to cut it up inside. He's going to be stopped. So Tavaki going backwards. And it looked like, Dan, he initially wanted to run around the the flank there and decided to have to cut it back inside, and he was stopped. Lost a yard on the play. It's going to bring up 4th down and goal here, so decision time for Northgate.
It's kind of a different call, Tony, because you're basically expecting your line to block on that play one-on-one as opposed to the pull where you get some lanes opening up. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kremen, number 88. If you look at that matchup, he's huge. The defensive back isn't. I wouldn't be surprised to see a play action and go to Kremen in the right flat. Timeout, Northgate.
So Northgate wants to talk it over. Remember, Tavaki following the Mike Pro throw, 27-yard run for the touchdown, which followed a interception by his brother Joe Pro throw. Clayton Valley able to take it the 30-yard distance, but the extra point was blocked. And then you had Tavaki on a 92-yard kick return, the first time they get a chance to return a kick. And wow, how about that? They get the huge return by Tavaki to set them up, Dan. But now they face 4th down and goal. And let's see if they can't punch it in here.
Well, they haven't thrown to Kremen tonight, and he has been a good, pretty decent target for Pelletier.
Yeah, I think he's only caught one ball, if I'm not mistaken, in the first series on that little out pattern coming to the sideline.
They haven't used him very much tonight on that side. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens here, because even if they don't get it, this isn't the end of the world. Clayton Valley's going to have bad field position, and a stop or a turnover could get them right back in it, and there's still 8:45 to play. So, but interesting when you're down there. This kind of reminds you of that play the Raiders had late in the game when they took the field goal team off and went for the touchdown, got the pass interference call last week. It's like when you get down here, you've got to score. You might not get another chance to get down here.
So 4th down and goal. This ball is spotted right about the 5-yard line, just inside the 5-yard line. Here goes Northgate trying to take it in and tie up the game. Handoff, fake, and he's going to be stopped short of the goal line. Joe Pelletier picks up about 3 yards, but that won't be enough. It will be 1st down for Clayton Valley.
Put a lot of confidence in the running game there. And so I'm just saying, as if it was me calling, I'd be calling a pass there, because you've got to get the ball into the end zone. That's just that simple. And Pelletier's a good quarterback. He can make that play. He's mobile. He could have got out into the flat, maybe some play action, thrown the ball to one of his receivers. They might have had a better chance. The good news is Clayton Valley's got to go 99 yards to put this game away.
So Clayton Valley starting from the 1-yard line now. You mark this closer to the 2-yard line. And Mike Prothrow now, it looks like they want to talk things over.
Interesting. Well, this is where Northgate, for one of the few times probably this year, are going to have to say, our defense has to come up really big here.
No, timeout taken by Clayton Valley. Or was it Clayton? So a big spot here for the Northgate defense, Dan. Can they get Clayton Valley stopped and give themselves a chance to get good field position again? Boy, but you look at Northgate, Dan, a couple of big drives ended in turnovers. And they have the big kickoff here from Tavaki, and that ends up in no points. So a lot of times, Dan, they've gone a long way with the football to come up with nothing.
Well, interestingly enough, if you were to tell me before, Prothrow would be 1 of 2 for 53 yards passing, his brother would have 73 yards rushing, I would have said, you're doing pretty good, and Northgate is doing pretty good. They're only down by 6 points, but can Prothrow, it's actually been Mike Prothrow tonight with the big run on that last play. Right. He has 3 touchdown runs. We'll have to see what he can do to get him out of this mess.
From his own end zone, Mike hands to Joe, and Joe's able to plow his way, almost broke another tackle, and then able to get out to the 10-yard line. The tackle made by number 23 for Northgate, that is Nick Mastrelli. But boy, Joe is very close to breaking another one, and let's take another look, Dan.
Well, I don't think that Mastrelli, you say he was breaking tackles. I don't think his nose feels very good after that one either. You can see he just ran over people that time. A single effort by Joe Prothrow to get that first down.
Second down, couple of yards short of the first down, and this time upended by Tavaki is Prothrow.
I think they're starting to figure out they got to go low on him. You hit him high, he's too powerful. He just run right over you.
And Tavaki with that submarine tackle, but he cannot prevent a first down. So from about the 14-yard line, the Clayton Valley Eagles have got themselves a first down and 10. Still a long time to go here, but given where they've started on the field here, this could be one of those long possessions that's going to eat up a lot of time. Northgate defense has got to get a stop here. And boy, tripped up in the backfield. Looked like he tripped by himself. And it's Joe that's going to get out across the 15-yard line to about the 16-yard line, just 2 yards on the game. I think he just tripped coming out of the backfield that time. 2nd down and 8 for Clayton Valley. A 27-21 ball game, and what a great game it's been. Boy, so many twists and turns in this game. Do we have a couple of more? Let's see, and now this is going to be jumping out to Joe Prothrow to about the 21-yard line. And Joe, after a 4-yard gain, going to leave him about 3 yards short of a first down.
They're running right behind the right side of the line, just continue to hit that hole. This is a big play right here, though, 3rd and 4. If they can hold him, this is where, if you're a gambler, you throw, but they give it to Prothrow.
Prothrow's got it.
A gambler.
Breaks a tackle, picks up a first down, and he fumbles the football. Who got it? It looked like Clayton Valley able to jump on it, and they were. Let's see who got that football. And that is going to be number 18, Tanner Raw, jumping on the football. And boy, what a huge play from Tanner. He's got the interception. He's made some nice plays today, Dan, but that might be the biggest play of the game.
That was a big play by Tanner Raw to get that fumble.
Oh, my goodness.
Got out in the open field. Was running in the clear. Just one of the guys came up from behind, knocked it out. Prothrow now with 130 yards on 26 carries. So he's adding to that, Tony, getting close to 2,000 yards on the season.
Now to the 40-yard line, so they moved it 38 yards already. Low snap. Mike Prothrow going to handle this one, and they're going to submarine him. He wasn't down. Whistle didn't blow, and he's going to pick up a few more yards. That was number 23, Nick Mastrelli, who submarined him. But you saw Mike Prothrow just land on top of him that time, Dan. Knee, elbows never touched the ground, so the whistle didn't blow, and he picked up a few more yards. Heads-up play by the quarterback.
Absolutely. I think he's the player of the game so far tonight with his vision. And, sometimes at the line of scrimmage, you got to make changes and hand off to guys. And in this offense, it's a lot of it is on the quarterback.
And a couple of times, Dan, that snap from in that short shotgun formation hasn't been on target, and he's handled that very well every time. From the 46-yard line, about 4 yards short of a first down, and now Whistle's going to stop this one, and it's going to be illegal procedure, I'm sure.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, down remains 2.
It is against Clayton Valley. That'll back them up 5 yards.
I think that's the second time that's happened when they've went into this, when they enclose around Prothrow. I don't know why it would make any difference, but it looks like the second time that's happened. And they get a little closer, what we call that double wing, the traditional, where they all kind of look like they're in a little huddle in the backfield, as opposed to spreading out and just having him and his brother in the backfield.
So the 5-yard penalty is going to put this ball back just short of the 40-yard line. And they're going to change that and mark it just above the 40-yard line. It's going to bring up a 10-yard situation here, 2nd down. You've got it. The back nose of the football is on the 40-yard line. So here we go, 2nd down and 10 following the penalty here from Clayton Valley. Fake the handoff, looking downfield, got a man open, catch is made at the 30, and banged down at the 20-yard line. 30 yards on the catch from Curtis Grant. And boy, he was wide open down the sideline that time.
It's something you kind of get used to when you watch this sort of offense, is that the couple of times they throw, usually guys are wide open. It's just that you just get so used to getting suckered into the run that when guys run, but this Prothrow kid can throw the ball. He's made 2 very nice throws. He's only completed 2 passes, but he's almost 100 yards passing.
Well, they've used it sparingly, Dan, but when they've used it, it's been effective. Remember, it did set up that first touchdown that they had when they had the nice big play. Now they get another one here. And now again, Whistle stopped this play.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And again, the penalty going against Clayton Valley for the illegal procedure. And they've done this several times today, Dan, but one thing about it, they've been able to overcome those 5-yard penalties.
Just about every time, Tony. It hasn't hurt them. And a lot of times it seems to be coming on first down. So they just line up and get it, because they're not punting. They got 4 downs, they know.
Only the one punt so far tonight. That was from Clayton Valley. And as Dan, you mentioned earlier, they've only punted, what, 3 times
this year. And they
the whole
turned
season.
the ball over twice. They almost had one here earlier on this drive, but it's amazing the discipline this team's had.
From the 24-yard line, Joe Prothro banging his way, and then finally WWF'd down to the turf this time. And he gets down to the 18-yard line. And Eric Haynes coming up there to make that tackle.
Cuneo and Sharp were there as well. So we're getting down to that stage, 2nd and about 9. There's only 4 minutes to go, Tony. They're going to have to either stop it now, or they're going to have to start using timeouts or something to save some clock. As we always mention in this kind of offense, you need a little time to work your way down the field. It's not an automatic type of thing. And really, Northgate had their chance on that long kickoff return and inside the 10, and just didn't get it done.
Joe Prothro, straight arm, tries to get around the flank, is going to go out of bounds, short of the 10-yard line. Looks like they're going to have Joe just inside the 15, down the 14-yard line.
And what's the last thing you want to do there, Tony? Go out of bounds. You just stop the clock. So now we're at 3:48, 3rd down. Northgate doesn't have to use a timeout there.
So 3rd down and 5 coming up here for Clayton Valley. Well, it looked like the Broncos jump, and they did. So that'll give them 5 yards.
Prior to the snap,
be a first down.
encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty.
Will that be
the yardage makes it first down.
And that was, Dan, number 69, Max Moore. He was hurt earlier in the game, so it's nice to see Max back on the field and healthy. But unfortunately, he bites on that hard count from Mike Prothro. And this 5 yards will get him a first down. It'll make it first down and goal here from just inside the 10-yard line, about the 9-yard line for Clayton.
And Northgate's going to have to use their timeouts if they do stop them on these plays.
Boy, and whistles blowing this play dead again. And
Clayton,
timeout Clayton Valley.
I don't know if Clayton has any left. I don't think it matters at this point. But Northgate, depending if they have 2 or 3, they're going to have to use them because the clock. If I'm Clayton, I'm just running the ball. I'm just taking time off the clock. They've been very successful going up the middle tonight. They're running Prothro, who's the workhorse.
And you'd certainly, if you are Clayton Valley, you really would like the one more score to absolutely officially seal the deal here. But as you said, Dan, Northgate, even though they do throw the ball some, a lot more of those short passes going to the sidelines and things like that. Not a whole lot of things going down the field. So you figured it would take them a long time to mount a drive, but you never do know. And if you only have that 1-score lead, you're never feeling completely comfortable.
No, like I said earlier, Tony, Northgate's got to look at this game and say, we had a chance.
Big time.
We had some mistakes that cost us. The interception, not getting in on 4th down on this side after the big kickoff return, the earlier fumble, a couple of penalties. But this team, we could see this game again, Tony, in a section playoff game. You could see this could be 2 and 3 right here, and you could see this game right again here in late November, right on this field. Whoever wins plays Rancho Cotati kind of thing. And, Concord's still in there, and I have this feeling, I know Coach Hamilton, I don't think he's real happy. And I think that he's going to try to get his team back to a level when he gets into the playoffs because they're going to make the playoffs. And I have a feeling we maybe have not heard the last of Concord.
First down and goal and more whistles.
Illegal substitution, defense, 5-yard penalty, or half the distance to the goal. Down remains 1.
Coming out of a timeout.
Second time tonight that Northgate has had 12 guys on the field in that situation. And that's just, someone on the field is supposed to, well, even in that, though, I don't think they would have allowed it since they already had 12 guys in the huddle. But someone's supposed to count that. Someone's supposed to know how many guys are on the field. Your defensive captain or your strong safety. Someone's supposed to know that.
All right, inside the 5 now. First down and goal for Clayton. Joe Pelletier is in for a touchdown.
Prothro.
Joe Prothro, excuse me. I said Pelletier. It's Joe Prothro in for the touchdown. coming in from about 4 yards away, and there is that 2-score lead. And finally, Clayton Valley able to put a little distance between them and Northgate. And how about that drive, Dan?
Great drive, very solid, didn't make any mistakes. Almost got a little luck with the fumble recovery, but took a lot of time off the clock, and they run a little reverse.
Going for 2.
They got in.
And they're in for a 2-point conversion. So they get the 2-point conversion. How about that, Dan? On a drive starting at 8:41 to go, they go 98 yards after stopping Northgate on downs, and it's a 2-touchdown lead for Clayton Valley.
They burned 5.5 minutes off the clock, Tony, and it's going to be very, very difficult for Northgate to score twice with only 3:41 to go.
And got to be very frustrating for Northgate. The way they block the extra point, Dan, then they get the Tavaki 92-yard return down to the 5-yard line, unable to take it in, and then they're in the situation, well, if we can stop them deep in our own end, we're going to get good field position. They weren't able to do that, and then if we could get them stopped at some point, at least we'd have a chance to go down, only trailing by 1 score.
And they had the fumble, they couldn't get that.
They couldn't get that. A very frustrating turn of events.
You'd have to say tonight that Northgate has played at least equal to Clayton Valley tonight, and the mistakes have been the difference in the game. Really? This is not a game where Clayton Valley totally dominated Northgate.
No,
now,
not
they've
at all.
certainly ran their offense very, very well, and you can see why they're what they are. But they have, they're averaging 54 points a game, and Northgate's held them to 35. That alone is an impressive.
And you
stat.
think about, Dan, a big reason why the Broncos, and they've done some nice things on defense, but a big reason why they've held them to such a low point total is because when Northgate gets the ball, they move it. They've been able to take a lot of time off the clock and chew up a lot of yards. But unfortunately, Dan, on at least 3 big opportunities for Northgate, they came away with no points.
And a couple of times really deep in their own territory. So, yeah, that'll be the difference in the game, Tony. But like I said, this game could happen again.
Big kickoff. This one's going to be returned as well from about the 11-yard line. A couple of fakes, and they're going to hand it to number 23 out down that far sideline. And that's going to be Nick Mastrelli, who finally gets the ball and gets the nice return.
It didn't work as good, but it still worked.
Still worked. Got some yardage out of it. So you see when they do get a chance to return the football, they do a nice job. Not too many chances. But, the marker down now. But Eddie Juarez, Dan, maybe the leg's getting a little tired. He's been booming these balls all night long.
Might be an illegal block. It looks like Northgate's moving backwards. By the way, Tony, I don't know the schedule for next week, where the game will be shown or who's going to pick it up, but we're going to do the Antioch-Pittsburgh game next week.
Yes, we will.
So if you're over in the Concord area watching this with your brother-in-law or something and you live in Antioch or Pittsburgh, we're going to do the Antioch-Pittsburgh game next week. First time in 5 or 6 years we've done that game.
That's right, and that's going to be a Jamboree production.
Illegal forward handing on the kick, 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down right.
So a penalty bringing this one back.
Of course, so that didn't work as well as
no.
It looked like it did, but not after that.
With an illegal block, it worked real well.
No, it was illegal forward handing.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, the handoff came in a forward position, so.
Illegal forward handing. I've never heard that before.
I've heard of illegal forward landing in gymnastics, but never illegal forward handing.
I didn't know you couldn't hand the ball off forward. Pelletier looking to run it. And just a couple of yards that time. So on the keeper. Gets out across the 15-yard line. Picks up a couple of yards. It'll bring up second down. Clock continues to run here. So right here on Walnut Creek TV, we're able to bring you some volleyball. And now bringing you a great football game here. Have some more volleyball for you next week as well. Here's one thrown to the outside. That catch is going to be made. Nice job. That time by Jake Smith, and able to get out of bounds as he gets to the 35-yard line. But the Broncos going to need a whole lot more of that.
And I heard that we're going to do some basketball this fall.
That's a possibility. Still trying to get some more sponsorships and to confirm those. But if we can get those to you, Dave Jackson doing such a great job for us working on that.
Well, Tony, if you consider we had the 2 years off, and we came back last year, we only did 1 game. This year we did 6. So we're, you could say the game of the week could be coming back if we just pick up a few more sponsors next year.
That would be fantastic.
I'd love to do it again. I missed it, and I honestly think that I get stopped and talked about the football and basketball games on TV more than anything I've ever done in my life.
Peltier throwing down the far sideline, incomplete, looking for Jimmy Sharp out there, and a little bit too high. Well, I'll tell you, Dan, through Walnut Creek TV and all Matt's efforts, and through Jamboree Productions, I'm trying to put it together for myself and put some of these productions, trying to get as many games as we can. And I think our player of the game is probably going to be the Peltier, the Prothrow brothers, and I'm going to say probably Mike Prothrow. Well, maybe we'll actually get them both down here.
Both Prothrows.
Peltier looking, throws the out, caught, and upended out at the 35-yard line. Tackle made by Curtis Grant, catch made by Brandon Lee, and upended very quickly there. And really, the offensive guy is really in a dangerous situation because the defense can really tee off. They can wait for the catch to be made and then go out and make the hit. They don't have to play it straight up. Third down here for Northgate. Peltier back, throws, and this ball is going to be complete out to the 45-yard line. Ball comes loose. Brandon Lee, the intended receiver, made the catch, I think, and now they're going to call that a fumble. They get a catch and a fumble and a recovery by Northgate.
Now, there's just not enough time on the clock, Tony. Even if they were to score here, they would have to get an onside kick and then probably still go 40 or 50 yards. At that point, I just don't know if they have enough time.
So Northgate trailing by the 2 scores.
That is a first down.
That is going to be a first down.
Yeah, they were tangled up.
Peltier rolling. And going to be swarmed under by the Clayton defense. It's still going and able to pick up a yard or two anyway. Boy, a very game play by Peltier, and now we've got a timeout and called by Northgate.
I don't know if we caught this. It didn't really matter to the play, but there was a massive hold on Northgate in that scrum. I don't know if the official who's in the back didn't really have that angle, but from this angle you could see a guy just pull one of the Clayton Valley guys down, but didn't matter. They didn't get much yardage there.
But you got to like the way Peltier is still trying to pick up extra yards.
Well, I told you they wouldn't quit.
In a situation like that, takes that big hit and still tries to spin away and pick up a couple. So Northgate has played a nice game here tonight, Dan. But we talked about the mistakes that kind of done them in. But you got to just marvel at this Clayton Valley offense. They've been great all year, Dan, and they were certainly great here tonight again.
They play Ignacio Valley next week, kind of a rivalry game for the 2 Walnut Creek schools. Even though I think Ignacio Valley is about as close to Concord as you can get. But they, down the street, basically rivalry game. If they win, they're 8-2. That's a heck of a year for a team that has not had that kind of success. 9-3 2 years ago. But I'm just saying over the course of the last, let's say, 15 years.
Well, remember all those years when we were doing the games together, Dan, it was Los Lomas, and certainly Northgate was just the other team. We didn't talk a whole lot about them. Completed here to the midfield, and nice turn in to pick up some more yards there for Jake Smith.
Clayton, of course, next week. I'm just going to go out on a limb. They're playing Mount Diablo. They haven't won. I think they might have a chance.
Did see them against Antioch, and Red Devils not able to put up much of a fight. Peltier still on his feet, breaks a tackle. Fires to the far side, and it's picked off. Down the sideline, 45-40. It pulls over a defender, and he's going to be down inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line. And that was Curtis Grant, number 3. And again, Dan, when you don't have to play it honest, you can kind of lay back there and wait. Grant did it exactly right. Came up and made the interception, and turnover is a big killer for Northgate here tonight.
Yep, just another one that this should seal it with a minute to go. 4th turnover tonight, Tony, and a couple of interceptions. That Peltier, still, you got to give him credit.
You do.
Coming out, trying to make something happen. But ultimately, Northgate will point to this. A lot of people look at the score and go, oh, 35-21. This game was tied with 8 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And it was a couple of big plays, an interception, and a block field goal, and then the big kickoff return. A lot of things happened there in the 4th quarter. But for Clayton Valley, let's just say more good things happened for them.
It certainly did. And Northgate's going to take another timeout. That's I'm pretty sure that is their last timeout.
Well, Tony, if you're watching this game on Monday on Walnut Creek TV and Concord TV, we'll play it again on Saturday. And then also it'll be on YouTube. So if you're not watching great clips of AC/DC in like basement clubs in the 70s before they got big on YouTube, which I watch all the time, good rock and roll stuff like that, you can watch our game on YouTube.
Very nice. So Matt's going to have that for you. I think he said he's going to have that one up by Wednesday.
You ever watch that backyard wrestling on YouTube? You know, when the guys...
I have not.
There's some pretty good stuff going on there. Guys jumping off roofs into glass. And
stuff
the
guys just doing absolutely stupid stuff?
Absolutely out of their minds. So if you watch our game, then you can go over to that. You know, my other favorite thing on YouTube I watch, Tony, is old roller derby. Charlie O'Connell.
Oh, my goodness.
Joni Weston. Oh, they have some great clips on there. Watch the greatest Charlie O'Connell fight of all times. That's one of the great clips on YouTube.
Pelletti now, pro throw to pro throw. Turns the corner, bangs down a defender, and pushed out of bounds. Boy, and the Prothrow brothers have simply been too much for the Northgate defense here tonight. They're piling up the points, piling up the yards, and another first down. And not content, Dan, to go into victory formation here. They want to put up another touchdown. Boy, this one's going to fake out everybody.
It almost looked like
but
a
not
Fumblerooski or a short snap,
a direct
or
snap
yeah.
or something of other, because
that was Medrano for one of the first times tonight on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, Mike Prothrow, kind of made that jump up like he was getting the ball, and the ball did not go to him. So an interesting looking play there for Clayton Valley. This time Mike does get it, and he's going to hand it off to Tanner Raw. And he won't get in.
I think that'll do it.
And that should just about do it, taking us inside of 15 seconds.
No, they're going to run another play.
Clayton Valley is going to probably run more play, and they are. Trying to tack on another touchdown. Prothrow flips to Joe Prothrow, gets a block. Prothrow headed for the pylon, he's in. Touchdown, but there is a flag.
You know, Tony, there will probably be a few people that would say in that situation, just kneel down, get out of here. I think that touchdown was legislated out of the game. I think a referee saw that and he said, "I'm not going to let him score on this," and we're going to find a hold on that play. Yeah.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still third down.
I think that I have to do that. I'm a USSSA softball umpire, and there's occasionally in a blowout I have to say, you know what, I think that was a catch. I don't care whether we caught it or not. We're not going to let you guys score 50 more runs. So I think that play right there might have been the same. There's 1.5 seconds left.
So last play of the game, and the Eagles going to try to tack on one more touchdown. Operating for the 12-yard line. And it's going to be a touchdown run in by number 42. And
that was Medrano.
Medrano able to take it in for the final touchdown, and that will do it. So Clayton Valley, they look like they win this one big. So 41-21 is the final.
They're not even going to kick the extra point.
No time left to kick the extra point. So 41-21 is the final. And the Clayton Valley Eagles able to knock off the Northgate Broncos, but the score not indicative, Dan, of what kind of game it really was. So I'm going to head down to get the players of the game. Dan, let's take it home.
Yes, so we'll see back here in a couple of minutes after this break. Tony's going to get the players of the game. I'll have the final stats after this.
parking made easy and convenient.
You're good to go.
Now that was easy.
Hi, welcome to Inside Center Rep.
My name is Carrie Lederer, and I'm the curator of exhibitions here at the Bedford Gallery.
Hi there, welcome to Get Lit.
And that's when I decided to run for the city council.
This is so exciting.
All right, I'm with Mike Prothro, one of our players of the game, along with brother Joe. A big night for Clayton Valley. Now the inside track to the DVAL championship. Great game for you and your brother, 6 touchdowns combined. But I've got to talk about Tavaki's big run and getting down there, and then you guys end up making the tackle and then getting that big stop, really the turning point of the game.
You know, Coach Paul, Coach Murph, and Coach McDuff always told us sprint to the ball, no loafs, everything. So, you know, him making that tackle down there, and it gave us a chance to stop them, and we stopped them, and that just, the whole momentum, that was a momentum shifter, and it just gave us the ball back on offense, and we drove down and we scored. So it was just, that was big. That was big, probably the biggest play of the game.
Yeah, it looked like they had a chance to come out and take the lead. You guys stopped them. The game really turned at that point. Do you think Northgate played a lot better than you thought, or how did you think about them coming in?
I knew it was going to be challenges. You know, we've been blowing teams out, and you know they came in hard. This is for a championship, so I know they were going to come in here and play their hearts out, and they gave it their all. You know,
yeah.
That was a good performance by Northgate.
Yeah, you and Joe, 6 touchdowns. Talk about the performance tonight and how the team sort of helped you guys do that.
Big shout outs to the line. You know, our line's just doing outstanding this year, you know, so big ups to the line. And then Coach McDuff, and, you know, he's been putting a scheme in for every team, you know, so the defense is just, it stepped it up big. Like, the defense has been big this year. Shout out to Coach McDuff and Coach Paul for doing that.
Hey, congratulations on a great win. Clayton Valley with the inside track to the DVAL championship. Good luck in the NCS.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Let's go back upstairs to Dan Wall.
All right, back to wrap it up here in the booth. Thanks to Tony and our player of the game, Mike Prothro. Just real quickly, total offense, amazingly, Northgate outgained Clayton Valley tonight, 415 to 407, but Clayton Valley ran for 306 yards, and they've been rushing for almost 450 a game. So Northgate did a good job. 2 for 3 and 101 yards passing for Mike Prothro. He also scored 3 touchdowns. So the difference in tonight's game, though, I think you can really see it. I think it was a very even game. It was tied at 21 with 8 minutes to go. A lot of people probably look at it and say it was a little closer than that at that point, and it was. But Northgate just too many penalties, too many mistakes, and they end up losing 41 to 20. But I guarantee we'll see Northgate in the playoffs. You know we're going to see Clayton Valley in the playoffs, and hopefully see both these teams again down the line. We're going to wrap this one up from Clayton Valley Charter High School. Thanks to Matt Bollender, Ron Carter, Dave Jackson, Tony Schultz, and this is Dan Wall saying goodnight from Concord, where the final score was Clayton Valley 41, Northgate 21. This has been a high school sports production by Walnut Creek Television and Concord Television. Good night until the next time. Be safe.